Okay, place of supply. So why we need place of supply? From the very beginning, we are telling that in order to determine whether to levy CGST or SGST or IGST. Okay. See, if it is an intra-state supply, CGST plus SGST will be levied. Okay. Interstate supply, integrated GST will be levied, which is IGST will be levied. So how we shall determine whether it is an intrastate transaction or interstate transaction? How we will determine? So that will be based on two things. One is location of the supplier. Second one is place of supply. Location of the supplier and place of supply. So from where the supplier is doing business or where he got registered, the location of the supplier. It is easy, quite easy. But fixing the place of supply is a little difficult. Place of supply, because see, there are many types of supplies. Like if you consider goods, sometimes the goods may be delivered at the shop itself. Sometimes goods may be delivered at the premises of the recipient. Sometimes while traveling, goods will be supplied. While traveling through flight, goods will be supplied. While traveling through a train, goods will be supplied. Sometimes goods will be supplied on site, not at the recipient place. It will be at a different place. Okay. So likewise, there are various types of supplies. Whenever it is a case of service, it is quite different. You are taking internet service, but you are using wherever you want. Like whenever you are traveling to other state also, there also you are using the service. Okay. But actually, since GST is a consumption based tax, destination based tax, why it is so called? Why it is a destination based tax? Because the ultimate consumer, the state in which the ultimate consumer is there, the tax will be accrued to such state. Tax will be accrued to such state. See, if you are like based on the place of supply only, we shall determine intrastate transaction or interstate transaction. If you are missing to determine the place of supply correctly, then obviously there will be a change in the levy of tax. So if you are telling that the place of location of the supplier as Andhra Pradesh, place of supply as Andhra Pradesh, you are telling. Okay. Actually, the place of supply is coming to Telangana. In such cases, so you are levying CGST and SGST instead of IGST. See, whenever you are missing place of supply provision, whenever you are wrongly interpreting place of supply provision, in such cases, the tax will be accruing to a different state. So now there is an essential requirement to determine place of supply. See here. See, place of supply. Find the place, fix the tax. So which tax has to be levied will be based on the place of supply. So why is the place of supply so important? Under GST, tax is charged not where the goods or services are made. It is not origin based taxation. It is destination based taxation. Origin based taxation is the earlier regime, wherein we levied CST, central sales tax, will be levied by the supplier state. Now the GST will be accruing to the state in which the consumer is there. Ultimate consumer is there in a separate statement, in a particular statement. To such state, the tax of 50% GST will be accrued. SGST will be accrued. Okay. So tax is charged not where the goods or services are made. It is a destination based tax. It is a consumption based tax where they are used or consumed. This is why GST is called destination based tax. So to decide which tax applies, that means it may be CGST, SGST or IGST, where the supplier is located, where the goods or services are actually consumed. So will be the place of supply. Okay, so these two details will help us figure out whether it is an intrastate supply or interstate supply. So whether to levy CGST, SGST or to levy IGST. So why does it matter so much? So if we get the place of supply wrong, what will happen? We will pay the wrong type of tax. Instead of paying CGST, SGST, we will end up paying with IGST. Need to recalculate and repay the correct tax. Okay, have to file for a refund of wrongly paid tax. Actually we cannot make the adjustment. If you are making a payment of IGST and actually you have to pay CGST and SGST, you cannot make the adjustment directly. So you have to claim the refund and make the payment, or else you have to first make the payment and then claim the refund. So then you will end up paying double tax twice. Okay, so face delays and blocked funds, especially in large transactions. So determining the correct place of supply is essential to ensure proper tax compliancy, no interest or penalties, smooth business operations. Okay, right. So see what is place of supply. As per GST law, place of supply is equals to place where the goods or services are actually consumed or used. Okay, since it is a destination based tax, this tells us which state or union territory gets the tax money. So based on this only, so we will share the income, we will share the GST revenue to the state in which the ultimate consumer is there. Okay. Next, so defined in section 286 of the CGST Act, but explained fully in chapter 5 of IGST Act, section 10 to 14. Section 10 to 14, these sections are there, but out of these sections we will just study 10 and 12. We'll just study 10 and 12. Place of supply for goods, usually simple to track because goods are physical, tangible. We can see where the goods are being delivered, where the goods are being consumed. So we can see that. But with respect to services, we cannot see where the goods are being, where the services are being consumed. So place of supply of services is much harder to determine. Hence, because services are intangible, there is no physical movement. People can change the locations easily. Same service might affect multiple states. Okay. So example, telecom services, online services, metro passes, etc. Ads, etc. So example, a yoga app subscription is bought in Mumbai but used while traveling across India. That means let's say CultFit is there. So if you are taking the subscription, so you can use it anywhere. So you are traveling to some other city. In such city, in such state also you can have the services. So but you are taking the service, or you are taking the service from this actually particular location, but later point of time you are traveling to a different location and availing the service. So hence fixing the point of supply, place of supply is quite difficult in case of services, since those are not tangible. A construction project, so why it is so important to fix the place of supply? So in order to levy CGST, SGST or IGST. Okay, right. So construction project starts in Telangana and ends in Andhra Pradesh. Construction project, maybe roads, so maybe roads, national highways are there. So in one state to another state, it is originating in one state and ending up in another state. Okay, so in Delhi metro card, a Delhi metro card is used in Noida and Faridabad. In such cases it is tricky to say which state used the service. Okay, how do we determine the place of supply for services? So now the key is, so GST uses proxies are nothing but parameters. Okay, so parameters means location of the service provider, where the service is actually performed, where it is consumed, who is the person having such benefit from such service. Okay, who is getting the benefit from such service. So these are the parameters which we will use. Location of the receiver also, location of the service provider, location of the service receiver, and where the service is actually performed, where the service is actually consumed, who has got the benefit out of such service. So these are the parameters we will take into account while determining the place of supply. Okay, so the most accurate proxy is picked based on the situation. So we have B2B transactions, we have B2C transaction, we already told. So what is B2B transaction? When a supply is made from a registered person to a registered person, then it is a B2B transaction. So what the registered person who is taking the service or who is availing the goods, who is availing the service or taking the goods will do, what he will do? Generally in B2B transaction, he will pay GST. Who will pay GST? Recipient will pay GST to the government, to the supplier. So whenever this transaction is happening, a liability will be created. A liability will be created. To whom? To the government. Why? Why? ITC will be availed by the recipient. So recipient will be paying GST to the supplier. That means recipient is creating an asset. Input tax credit receivable. Okay, at the same time, input tax credit has to be given by the government. Okay, so for government, liability is getting created. Actually, when it is actually accruing to the government, when the GST amount is actually accruing to the government, when the B2B transaction is converting into B2C transaction, then actually the government is the revenue is accruing to the government. Okay, right. So we have B2B transaction, which is business to business, registered person to registered person. We have B2C transactions, which is registered person to unregistered person transactions. So when we are entering into the ultimate B2C transaction to the ultimate consumer, then the revenue is accruing to the government. So buyer is registered, buyer can claim ITC, tax just passes through, focus is on the recipient's location. So B2C, business to consumer, buyer is unregistered, buyer consumes the services or goods, tax goes directly to the government. So here input tax credit has to be given to the recipient. That means a liability is being created to the government. When B2C transaction is arising, no, so the charge of GST or revenue will be accruing to the government actually. Right. What does the law says? So here we have section 10 to section 14, which determines the place of supply in various cases. So generally, see, place of supply with respect to goods, with respect to services. Okay, so goods in case of domestic transactions, goods in case of exports, services in case of domestic transactions, services in case of exports. Okay, determining place of supply. So section 10, okay, domestic transactions in case of goods. Section 11, domestic transaction in case of exports. Okay, exports or imports. Okay, international transactions. Services, domestic transactions in case of section 12, in case of services. Next, export, section 13. So these are the 4 sections which will determine place of supply. Okay, place of supply. Out of this we will only discuss this section 12 and section 10. Section 10 and section 2. These are only relevant for our examination, for our syllabus. Okay, so these are the 4 sections. So IGST Act section 10 to 14 gives the rules for finding the place of supply. It covers domestic transactions within India, cross-border transactions, import and exports. For cross-border transactions, section 11 and 13 are there. For domestic transactions, section 10 and section 12 are there. Section 10 and section 12 are there. Only we will discuss section 10 and section 12. At intermediate level, we study only the domestic rules. Okay, section 10 for goods, section 12 for services, domestic transaction. So place of supply is equals to place of tax collection. Place of supply is equals to place of tax collection. So if you know where the goods or services are being consumed, you will know which GST to apply. Where it is being consumed, if you know that, so which GST to be applied will be known to us. Okay, see whether to levy CGST as GST or IGST. Okay, that will be known to us. So in order to learn that, we need to have an understanding of section 10 and section 12. So understand how to find place of supply of goods within India and analyze the same to determine the place of supply in the given situation. Understand how to find place of supply for services within India and analyze the same to determine the place of supply in a given situation. So these are the learning objectives here. Okay, so with this we have to start our chapter for the discussion on section 10 and section 12 of IGST Act. In CGST, what is section 10? In CGST, what is section 10? Charge of GST, yeah? In CGST, what is section 10? Charge of GST, yeah? Composition levy, yeah? Chapter charge of GST, section 10 is composition levy. Section 7? Section 7, supply. What is section 9? Section 9, charging section. Okay, what is section 13? Time of supply for services. What is section 15? Value of supply. Okay, right. Right, we will start with section 10 now. We will start with section 10 now, where place of supply of goods other than supply of goods imported into or exported from India. That means we are going to talk about domestic transactions. Domestic transactions. Okay, so section 10. Section 10. Okay, right. Location plus destination is equals to GST calculation. Right. So we'll continue with this material, or else we can go to ICA material. Yes. Okay, fine. Right. Subsection 1, clause A. Section 10, subsection 1, clause A. Okay. So we are talking about supply of goods. We are going to determine the place of supply in case of goods. Okay, that too domestic transactions. So how many are there? How many sections are there? You see here. So how many sections are there? Subsection 1 is there, subsection 2 is there. In subsection 1 we have how many clauses? A, B, C, CA and CA and D, I think. D and E. Okay, 6 clauses are there in subsection 1. 6 clauses are there, right? We'll start with subsection 1 clause A. We'll start with subsection 1 clause A. So where the supply involves movement of goods. Supply involves movement of goods. That means goods shall be moving from one place to another. So it may be started or initiated by the supplier. That means movement will be caused by the supplier, or movement may be caused by the recipient, or movement may be caused by from third person. That means transporter. Maybe the transporter is causing the movement of the goods. Whoever it may be, if supply involves movement of goods. If the supply involves movement of goods, that means goods shall be moving from supplier place to recipient place. So where the movement of the goods is being terminated, where the movement of the goods is being terminated, why it is terminated? It is just handing over to the recipient. It is just handing over to the recipient. From that place, recipient is taking care. That means it may be recipient place of business. It may be recipient's warehouse. It may be recipient's factory. So that is where the movement of the goods is being terminated for delivery to the recipient. Okay. So the place of supply will be the place of supply is whether by supplier or by recipient. That means the supply involves movement of goods, and that movement is caused whether by the supplier or the recipient or by any other person. Any other person means sometimes the transporter. Transporter is the person who is causing the movement of the goods. Okay, so the place of supply of such goods shall be the location of the goods. Location of the goods. Location of the goods at the time at which the movement of the goods terminates. At the time at which the movement of the goods stopped. Okay, now why the movement of the goods stopped? For delivery to the recipient. For delivery to the recipient. That will be the place of supply. So supplier is in Telangana. Okay, recipient is in Chennai. Recipient is in Chennai. Goods started moving from Hyderabad to Chennai. So in Chennai, at the recipient place, goods stopped the movement. Okay, the movement of the goods terminated. Why it got terminated? Delivery is being made there. So that's why the place of supply will be Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Okay, IGST will come. Location of the supplier Telangana. Place of supply Tamil Nadu. IGST will come. Okay, right. You got this point? 1 year. Right. Next. See here, where the goods are delivered by a supplier to a recipient. Okay, supplier to a recipient. Goods are being delivered. Where the goods are being delivered by supplier to a recipient. Or any other person on the directions of a third person, or to any other person on the direction of the third person, whether acting as an agent or otherwise, before or during the movement of the goods, either by way of transfer of the document of title to the goods or otherwise, it shall be deemed that the said third person has received the goods, and place of supply of such goods shall be the principal place of business of such person. What they are telling here, three parties are involved. Supplier is there. Okay, so buyer is there. Seller is there, buyer is there. Buyer has placed the order to the supplier. Okay, so buyer placed the order to the supplier. He is asking the buyer. Who is asking the buyer? Buyer is asking the supplier to deliver the goods. In a location. Like let's say the buyer is from Hyderabad. Okay, supplier is from Gujarat. Okay, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Okay, so he wants the delivery of the goods in Chennai. So a person who is a recipient R is there in Chennai. So buyer is placing the order to the supplier. He wants the delivery of the goods in Chennai. So during the movement of the goods or before the movement of the goods, buyer is placing the request to the supplier to deliver the goods to Chennai. So in such cases, the place of supply will be Hyderabad only. At the request of the buyer. In the provision, the buyer is called as third person. Actually, he is the recipient. From Hyderabad. Okay, but he is called as third person. So whenever he is placing order, see, simply if you are putting an online order, sitting here, but you want the delivery to be made at your home. Okay, so in such cases, just a minute. Okay, you want the delivery to be made at your home. So in such cases, even though the delivery is being made to your home, the place of supply will be from the place where you are doing the order. You are placing the order. Okay, so shipping address, delivery address will be there, no? So to the shipping address, we will be fixing it as place of supply. Okay, right. So buyer is placing the order to the supplier. He is asking the supplier, requesting the supplier to deliver the goods to Chennai. Okay, in such cases, even though the goods are being delivered at the location of the recipient at Chennai, location of a person at Chennai, but actually the place of supply will be the place of the buyer. Okay, place of the buyer, that is the third person. Okay, this is one thing. And sometimes during the movement of the goods, from supplier place to buyer place, goods started moving. So during the transit, buyer got the order from Chennai. So he asked the supplier to transfer the goods to Chennai. So in this case also, the place of supply will be buyer's place, Hyderabad. Okay, here there are two supplies here. In the first case, only one supply. Okay, seller is there, third party is there, who placed the order, third person, and recipient at Chennai is there. So he placed the order. Okay, so he has sent the goods. So goods delivered to this location. Okay, third person is placing the order. So now the supply is between the supplier and the third person. Okay, just delivery is made to this location. Okay, supply between supplier and the third person, delivery is made to this recipient location. So now in the next case, what is happening? Supplier is there, third party is there, recipient is there. So here during the moment an order has been placed by the third person, by this person to him. So actually from the supplier place to the third person's place, goods has to be moved, and then from that place the sale has to happen. Okay, now it is, so here in this case during the transit sale is being booked. Okay, now there are two supplies here. So one from here to here, like between them, and another one is between them. Two supplies are there. So here with respect to this supply between them, the place of supply will be the place of the third person. Okay, with respect to this supply, the place of supply will be the place of this person. Got this? Okay, so here there are two supplies here. Two supplies are there here. You got this? Right. So now you see, where the supply does not involve movement, no, we are talking this now, where the goods are delivered by the supplier to a recipient or any other person, supplier to a recipient, supplier is delivering the goods to a recipient, okay, to a recipient or any other person on the direction of the third person. Who is that third person? Who has made the order, who has booked the order. Okay, third person, whether as an agent or otherwise, before or during the moment. After the movement he cannot do anything. It's before or during the moment. After the completion of the movement he cannot do anything, because goods will be delivered. From that location the goods shall be relocated if he wants to. During the movement only he can order. Okay, so he can ask for the delivery. So before or during the movement of the goods, either by way of transfer of the documents of the title, either by way of transfer of the document of title means what? Sale. Either by sale or just for the sake of delivery at that place. Okay, so either by way of transfer of document of title to the goods or otherwise, it shall be deemed that the said third person has received the goods. The said third person has received the goods. Even though the delivery is made to Chennai, the person in Hyderabad has received the goods. Okay, it is deemed that the person in Hyderabad has received the goods. Then the place of supply will be Hyderabad only. Okay, so it shall be deemed that the said person has received the goods, and the place of supply of such goods shall be the principal place of business of such person. Such person means third person who is located in Hyderabad. From Gujarat, order has been placed from Hyderabad. Okay, goods has been delivered from Gujarat to Chennai, but the place of supply will be Hyderabad only. Because on the direction of the person in Hyderabad, the goods are being transferred from Gujarat to Chennai. Even though the goods moved to Chennai, the place of supply will be Hyderabad only. Because on the direction of the person in Hyderabad, goods has been moved. So this delivery or the goods movement may be because of two reasons. One is just for the sake of delivery, because he want to use the goods in that location, or an order has been placed from Chennai to him. Actually this is a sale. So in that case, even it may be a sale or it may be just a delivery. If it is a sale, then two transactions are there here. One delivery, two transactions. Two different bills will be there. From supplier to third person, one bill will be there. From third person to the person in Chennai, another bill will be there. Okay, two invoices will be there here. Two orders will be there here. But delivery will be one only. Okay, so right. So for this we have this chart here. You see, supply by supplier to third person. Supply by supplier to third person. Supplier A in New Delhi. Okay. So third person B in Haryana. So he is giving the instructions to supplier A in New Delhi. So goods delivered as per the instructions of B. Recipient C in New Delhi. To recipient C in New Delhi. Okay, so the place of supply will be location of the principal place of B only. Place of supply will be Haryana. even though the goods are delivered to New Delhi only, delivered to the recipient in New Delhi only, but still the place of supply will be Haryana only. Haryana only. Okay. Next case, supply by third person to recipient. Supply by third person to recipient. So here third person B in Haryana places an order for supply of C. Recipient C in New Delhi places an order to the third person. Okay. Third person is issuing the invoice to C. Now goods are being delivered from supplier A in New Delhi to recipient C in New Delhi. Even though the goods are delivered from here to here, okay, place of supply will be Haryana only. Haryana only. With respect to first supply between third person and the supplier. With respect to second supply between the third person and the recipient, between the third person and the recipient with respect to second supply, place of supply will be what? New Delhi. Okay, see here, place of supply is equals to location of the goods at the time when the movement of the goods terminates for a delivery to C recipient, that is New Delhi. Supply chargeable to IGST. Which supply? Supply from third person to recipient C. This will be charged to IGST because place of supply will be New Delhi. Okay, so here this supply is there now. Supplier A and recipient the third person. Okay, third person between them is there no, so that is also IGST. That is also IGST because the place of supply will be Haryana for the first transaction. For the second transaction, order during the transit, so this will be the place of supply. New Delhi will be the place of supply. Okay, right. So now comes next clause where the supply does not involve movement of goods. Yesterday we have seen an example of this projector. Okay, so the previous institute which is there owning this projector, but the institute want this projector, so want to purchase that projector from here. So in the what is that exact condition, in the exact location they want the projector. So that's why just the ownership is being changed here. The place of the goods or movement of the goods is not there here. Just the goods are provided as it is. So let's say we are taking a house for rent, house on rent. So a sofa is there in the hall, so that belongs to the owner. We asked the sofa to sell it to us. Okay, so that is also, there is no movement of goods. So the made available as is where is basis. So where it is there itself the supply has been made. So as is where is basis. So where the supply does not involve movement of the goods, whether by the supplier or by the recipient, the place of supply shall be the location of the goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. So place of supply will be the location of the goods at the time of supply. Where is the location of the goods? That will be the place of supply. Okay, so with respect to this projector, what is the place of supply? This classroom is the place of supply. That's all. Right. Next, where the supply of the goods is made to a person other than a registered person, that means supply to unregistered person, registered person to unregistered person. So the customer is the unregistered person. Okay, unregistered person. The place of supply shall, notwithstanding anything contrary contained in clause A or clause C. That means we have already seen clause A, clause B, clause C. In clause A, what they are telling? In clause A, when the supply involves movement of goods, then place of supply will be the place where the movement terminates. Okay na, movement of the goods terminates. First one. Second one, whenever the goods are delivered by the supplier to a recipient, when the third person is giving the directions to deliver at some other place, then the place of supply will be the third person's place only. Third person's place only. Okay, that is the second point. Third point, when the supply does not involve movement, place of the goods will be the place of supply, is the third point. So now what they are telling as per CA, CA means it is an amendment. It is an amendment, CA clause. It is an amendment. What they are telling that, so if there is anything contrary as per clause A, clause B, clause C, that means notwithstanding anything contained in A, B, C. Okay, we no need to consider these 3 points. If there is anything which is applied to CA will prevail. Okay, so what they are telling, if the supply is made from a registered person to a unregistered person, if a supply is made from registered person to unregistered person, the place of supply shall, The place of supply shall, notwithstanding anything contrary contained in clause A, clause B, or clause C, be location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice issued in respect of the said supply. Okay, see, registered person is there, giving that means supplying to unregistered person. So even though he is unregistered person, while issuing the bill, while issuing the invoice, he might be asking the address of the unregistered person, address of the customer. Obviously. So whatever you purchase, sometimes while writing the bill, the shopkeeper will ask you for your address, at least a city. At least, so they may not ask for the door number, at least they may ask for the city from where you have come. Okay, so likewise, if the registered person has given the invoice, in that invoice, what address he has mentioned, what address of the buyer he has mentioned. So if that address is there in the invoice, so in such cases, the place of supply will be such address. So address means it is not necessary to mention the door number, it is not necessary to mention even the city, it is just the state. Enough. Okay, sometimes, see, somebody is coming from outside Hyderabad to Hyderabad, like outside the state of Telangana to Hyderabad, coming to Hyderabad and purchasing. A tourist is coming to Hyderabad and purchasing something in Hyderabad. Okay, so while purchasing, actually he is consuming in, since GST is a consumption based tax, actually he is consuming in the place from where he is coming. Correct? GST shall be accrued to that state. So how it will be accrued to that state? By levying IGST. Government will collect IGST first, later on it will be shared to the tourist state. Correct? To that state it will be shared. So if IGST is not levied, if CGST and SGST is levied, what will happen? Firstly, the amount of GST will be going into the hands of Hyderabad government. Okay, so that's why at least we should be knowing the name of the tourist while writing the bill. At least we should be knowing the name of the state of the tourist. We should be knowing the state of this. If that state of the tourist has mentioned in the bill, then what will be the place of supply? That state will be the place of supply. Then what will come? IGST will come. If IGST is coming, means central government will collect IGST. Later on it will be shared to whom? Consumption state. Consumption state means to the tourist state. Got it? So that means it is going as the revenue to the consumption state. Correct? Okay, so what they are telling, so whatever it is there which is contrary to A, B or C, whether if it is applying also, CA will prevail. What they are telling, where the supply of the goods is made to a person other than a registered person. If it is made to a registered person, obviously registered person address will be there, including the door number. If you are just putting the GST number, you will get all the details. He no need to tell anything. So that is enough for registered. If unregistered person, so if he is taking the address, okay, where the supply of goods is made to a person other than a registered person, the place of supply shall, notwithstanding anything contrary contained in clause A or clause B or clause C, be the location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice issued in respect of such supply, and the location of the supplier where the address of the said person is not recorded in the invoice. So if it is not recorded in the invoice, then the location of the supplier. Got it? If the address is not mentioned, recipient address is not mentioned, then the location of the supplier will be the place of supply. See here. So what they are telling, as per CA, clause CA, section 10, subsection 1. Okay. Registered person is there. Supplying to unregistered person. Registered person supplying to unregistered person. Address mentioned. Address means what? Just state enough. So if he is mentioning door number, city, everything, it is fine. Even if it is not there, if he is just mentioning the state, it is also fine. Okay, address mentioned, just the state enough. Okay, address not mentioned. Address not mentioned in the invoice. In the invoice. Okay. So if the address is mentioned in the invoice, then place of supply will be location of the recipient. Location of the recipient. So when the address is not mentioned in the invoice, place of supply will be location of the supplier. Place of supply will be location of the supply. Tourists are coming, lakhs of rupees they are purchasing. Okay, on that GST will be in lakhs only. That GST shall be accruing to, it must accrue to which state? Consumption state. From which state he is coming, to that state only it shall accrue, because he is consuming there. He is consuming the product there. To that state GST shall accrue. But what is happening? If you are not mentioning the name, of the state from where he is coming, what is happening? It is accruing to the state in which the sale has happened. That means the destination based tax is there. No, that is not fulfilling. Okay, so here in this case, whenever the address of the recipient is available, at least the state of the recipient is available. In such cases, place of supply will be location of the recipient. If it is not available, then place of supply will be location of the supplier. So this is what is there in section 10 subsection 1 CA. This is newly inserted section, right? Okay. Now comes see explanation here. For the purpose of this clause, recording of the name of the state of the said person in the invoice shall be deemed to be recording of the address of the said person. So not the full address, just the state is enough. Next, where the goods are assembled or installed at site, the place of supply shall be the place of such installation or assembly. So whenever it needs installation, furniture is there, we purchased that furniture, but they will be coming in parts, they will be coming in components, that has to be come to our place, and in our place it has to be assembled, it has to be installed. Okay, so the where it is being installed, that will be the place of supply. Where the furniture is being installed, where the furniture is being assembled, that will be the place of supply. So whatever, sometimes we are purchasing a TV, that has to be installed, that has to be assembled, mounted, assembled, okay, by the staff. Okay, so they have to come to our place and assemble the TV. So that is what the place where they are assembling the goods will be the place of supply, So the goods are assembled or installed at site, the place of supply shall be the place of such installation or assembly. Next, where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance. Conveyance means we already told, it may be aircraft, it may be vessel, or it may be a motor vehicle, whatever. Okay, conveyance means a vehicle. It may be a motor vehicle, it may be aircraft, it may be vessel, or anything, whatever it may be. Okay, right. So where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance. On board a conveyance means on train, on aircraft, on a vehicle, like on a bus. So when the goods are provided on the bus, on the train, okay, or in a aircraft, when the goods are provided. Okay, so that is on during the journey they are provided. Okay, so in such cases, what is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? So the place of supply will be the place where the goods are loaded. Place of supply will be the place where goods are loaded. There may be a train from one place to another, crossing all over the states, like all the states. It may be touching 6 or 7 states. Okay, so during this train journey, many goods are being supplied. It may be snacks, or it may be food, or it may be any refreshments, whatever it may be. So whatever they are supplying, goods, we are talking about goods, we are not talking about the service. Okay, whatever they are supplying on board a conveyance. On board a conveyance means in the train, in the vessel, in the vehicle, they are providing. Okay, they are selling. So in such cases, what is the place of supply? The place of supply will be the place where the goods are loaded into the train, loaded into the aircraft, loaded into the vehicle. Okay, so that is what is called where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, including vessel, aircraft, train, or a motor vehicle. The place of supply shall be the location at which the goods are taken on board, where the goods are loaded. So if you are loaded in a particular station, so that station will be the place of supply. So whether you are supplying it in a different station or in a different state, it doesn't matter. Where you are supplying, where the goods are being consumed, it doesn't matter. Where the goods are loading, that will be taken into consideration for determining place of supply. Okay, so for determining place of supply, a point shall be fixed by somebody, like government is fixing here. So otherwise there is a necessity for many interpretations, like there is a scope for many interpretations here. Why the place of supply is fixed at onboarding a conveyance? Even the goods are being consumed in a different state. There may be a question. There may be a person who is raising such question. But still there shall be a principle which shall be fixed irrespective of all the logics. Okay, so this is a chapter where we need revision lot of times, where we need to by heart. Okay, all the provisions, right? Next, where the place of supply of the goods cannot be determined, the place of supply shall be determined in such a manner as may be prescribed. Okay, right. See, we have seen how many clauses? How many clauses? 6 different clauses with respect to goods. Okay, 6 different clauses. First, where the goods involves movement. Where the goods involves movement. Where the goods involves movement, the place of supply will be the place where the movement terminates. Okay, next, where the goods are delivered by the supplier to the recipient on the directions of a third person. Okay, the place of supply will be the place of the third person. Place of the third person. Next, where the goods does not involve movement. Okay, where the goods does not involve movement. In such cases, the place of supply will be the place where the goods are made available. Okay, next, where the goods are where the supply of the goods are made to a person other than a registered person. Okay, if such unregistered person, if such buyer's address or recipient address is mentioned in the invoice, then location of such recipient. Okay, location of such buyer. So if the address of such recipient is not mentioned, then the location of the supplier. This is CA, which is having a overriding effect. Next, where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance. On board a conveyance. In such cases, place of supply will be where the goods are loaded. Okay, taken on board. When the supply of the when the place of supply cannot be determined as per the section, it will be determined as per the rules. Okay, so this is all about section 10, where we are talking about domestic transactions of the goods to determine the place of supply. Okay, got it? All right. What are the parameters taken into account? We have taken into account supply involving movement of goods, supply not involving movement of goods, goods delivered on bill to ship to model. So bill will be given to the recipient third person, shipping will be made to a different person. Okay, billing will be, shipping will be. Okay, next, goods assembled or installed at site, goods supplied on board a conveyance. Okay, so these are the rules to provide the place of supply of goods. These are taken into consideration, right? See here, supply not involving movement of goods, section 10 subsection 1 clause C. Newton Private Limited, New Delhi leases a machine to Gravity Private Limited, Noida. Later it sells the same without moving it. Okay, so place of supply is Noida. Gangadhar Limited, Mumbai buys pre-installed furniture from Gajodhar Builders in Gurgaon. The furniture isn't moved, place of supply is Gurgaon. Okay, so location of the goods will be the place of supply. Next, supply to an unregistered person. Supply to an unregistered person. Mr. A, an unregistered person from state X, orders mobile via an e-commerce platform to be delivered in state Y. Okay, billing address is in the state X. Billing address in state X. Delivery address or shipping address in state Y. If delivery address is recorded in the invoice as state Y, okay, then state Y becomes the place of supply. Okay, next, supply involving installation or assembly of goods. Goom Goom Private Limited, New Delhi purchases machine from Doom Private Limited, New Delhi, for being installed in its factory at Noida, UP. Okay, the machine purchased. See here, seller is from Delhi, buyer is also from Delhi, but the machinery has to be installed in UP. Machinery has to be installed in UP. So the place of supply is the site at which the machine is installed, that is UP. Okay. Pure Refineries, Mumbai, Maharashtra gives a contract to Mowgli Limited, Ranchi, Jharkhand to supply a machine which is required to be assembled in a power plant in its refinery located in Kutch, Gujarat. The place of supply is the site. Place of supply is the site. Okay, site that is which is in Gujarat. Next, goods supplied on board a conveyance. Maurya, New Delhi, boards the New Delhi Kota train at New Delhi. He sells the goods taken on board by him at New Delhi in the train at Jaipur during the journey. So the place of supply of the goods is the location at which the goods are taken on board, that is New Delhi, and not Jaipur where the goods have been sold. Okay, right? So this is all about section 10 where we are fixing the place of supply. Okay, right. Now comes section 12. Section 12. So place of supply of services where the location of the supplier of the service and location of the recipient of service is in India. Location of the supplier and location of the recipient is in India. Both are in India. In such cases, section 12 will be applied. It is nothing but domestic transaction in case of services. Domestic transaction in case of services. Here, section 12 subsection 1 is stating that the provisions of this section shall apply to determine the place of supply of services where the location of the supplier of the service and location of the recipient of service is in India. Section 12 subsection 1 is telling that location of the supplier and location of the recipient are both in India, then this section will be applicable. That means for domestic transaction section 12 will be applicable. Okay, section 12 subsection 1 is telling. Next, section 12 subsection 2 will be a general rule or a general provision. Okay, see we have many subsections under section 12. How many subsections are there? You see 14 subsections are there. So each case talks about a specific thing, like specific service. Each subsection talks about a specific supply of service. Okay, so whenever the supply is not given from section 12 subsection 3 to section 12 subsection 14, if the supply is not covered between these sections, between these subsections, in such cases section 12 subsection 2 general provision will be applicable. General provision will be applicable. So whenever there is no separate case, whenever the service has not covered from section 12 subsection 3 to section 12 subsection 14, in such cases section 12 subsection 2 general principle will apply, general provision will apply. Okay, so what is the general provision? We will see here. What is the general provision? See, when the supply is made to a registered person, okay, if it is made to a location of the, shall be the location of such person, made to a person other than a registered person shall be the location of the recipient where the address on the record exists, and the location of the supplier of the service in other cases. Okay, so place of supply shall be when made to a registered person. See here, place of supply with respect to services, when the supply of service is made to registered person, made to unregistered person. If it is made to registered person, place of supply will be place of such registered person. Okay, that means location of the recipient. Right. So if it is made to unregistered person, address recorded, address not recorded. Address recorded means place of supply will be location of the recipient again. Address not recorded means place of supply will be location of the supplier. Understand? Okay, so this is what the general section, this is what the general subsection, section 12 subsection 2. Okay, so supply of service when the supply of service is made to a registered person, place of supply will be place of such registered person. That is what is location of the recipient. If it is made to unregistered person and the address is recorded, place of supply will be location of such recipient. If the address is not recorded, place of supply will be location of the service provider. Location of the service provider. This is what is general rule. Okay, section 12 subsection 2. Section 12 subsection 2. Right. Next, now comes the specific cases. Specific cases. So when the supply is directly in relation to an immovable property, supply of services directly in relation to immovable property shall be the location at which the immovable property or the boat or the vessel, as the case may be, is located or is intended to be located, by way of lodging accommodation by a hotel, by way of accommodation for organizing any marriage or reception, or any service ancillary to the services referred to in A, B, C. Okay, so that means services with respect to immovable property they are talking about. Immovable property they are talking about. Services with respect to immovable property. Whenever there is a service with respect to immovable property, why you want break up? Okay, whenever there is a service with respect to immovable property, when the service is directly related to immovable property, whatever may be the service, but the service is related to immovable property. Let's say an architect is there, which is who is planning the interior decoration. Okay, an engineer is there who is having the site map, like who is planning the site map. Okay, whatever with respect to a surveyor is there who is measuring the area of the property. Okay, so likewise, if anything related to immovable property, whatever the service may be, which is related to immovable property, whether it may be surveyor, whether it may be architect, whether it may be engineer, whoever it may be, it is not just the professional. Okay, whoever it may be with respect to immovable property, let's say a hotel is there. A hotel is there. Hotel is supplying what accommodation services, lodging services. Okay, that is also with respect to immovable property only. In connection with the immovable property only, services is being provided. So whatever the service may be, if it is relating to an immovable property, in such cases, where the immovable property is located is the place of supply. The location of the immovable property is the place of supply. If such immovable property is located outside India, see, we are talking about the cases where location of the supplier, location of the recipient are there in India. We are not talking about the, see, if the immovable property is located outside India also, that will comes under the scope of this section only. Why it will come? Location of the supplier and location of the recipient are there in India. Property is located outside India, but the owner is there in India only. So location of the supplier and location of the recipient are there in India, then it will comes under the scope of section 12. Right. See, this immovable property is there outside India. If the immovable property is located outside India, in such cases, it is the location of the recipient. Okay, right. Next, the place of supply of restaurant and catering services, personal grooming shall be the location where the services are actually performed. Personal grooming, restaurant services, catering services, wherever they have performed, wherever the services are provided, that will be the place of supply. With respect to immovable property, place of immovable property, where the immovable property is located, that will be the place of supply. With respect to restaurant and catering services and restaurant catering services, personal grooming and all, place where the services are actually performed. Next, whenever we will see this Bail Act provisions. Wait. Okay. Here we are talking about this thing, no? Section 12 subsection 3, the place of supply of services directly in relation to immovable property. Immovable property. Okay. So including services provided by architects, interior decorators, surveyors, engineers, and other related experts, estate agents, or any service provided by way of grant of rights to use the immovable property, by way of grant of right to use the immovable property, or for carrying out or coordination of construction work. So whatever the thing may be with respect to immovable property, it may be by way of grant of rights to use the immovable property. Okay, right. Renting of immovable property also comes here, or by way of lodging, accommodation by hotel, inn, guest house, home study, club or campsite, by whatever name called, and including a houseboat or any other vessel. Okay, next, by way of accommodation in any immovable property for organizing any marriage or reception or matters relating thereto, official, social, cultural, religious, or business function, including services provided in relation to a such function at such property. That means it may be a convention hall, it may be a convention hall, or it may be a hotel, or it may be a hotel, or it may be a motel, or it may be a resort, or whatever it may be. If it is a immovable property, or any services ancillary to the services referred to in ABC. Okay, so shall be the location at which the immovable property or the boat or the vessel, or as the case may be, is located or intended to be located. Located or intended to be located. Why the word intended to be located is used means, see, even though it is related to construction, so if the immovable property is under construction means it is intended to be located. Well, or else if it is architect or design service or engineer service, planning service with respect to immovable property, in future the immovable property is going to construct. So that's why the property intended to locate. Okay, so that will be the place of supply. So place of supply will be the place of immovable property. Place of immovable property. Provided that if the location of the immovable property or the boat or the vessel is located or intended to be located outside India, place of supply shall be the location of the recipient. So up to here fine, right? Next explanation. See here, sometimes we are availing the service of immovable property, but the services has been scattered over the different states, right? See, if we are having if we are arranging some, like, whatever, see, these classes only we are arranging. So these classes are arranging in 3 different cities. Classes are being arranged in 3 different cities. So in 3 different cities, we are going with only one hotel. Okay. So let's say Novotel. In Novotel, so a convention hall or a conference hall has been booked. In that conference hall, we are arranging the classes. So in each and every city, we are arranging. But for all the services, they have raised only one invoice. It is a package in all the 3 cities. For all the 3 cities, there is only one invoice which has been raised. So in such cases, see, we are having the service, we are availing the service in 3 different states. So in such cases, where the immovable property or the boat or the vessel is located in more than one state or more than one union territory, the supply of the services shall be treated as made in each of the respective states. Okay, then it shall be segregated between the states based on the value. So if the value can be split between the different states, if the value can be proportionated between different state, it is well and good. So as per the value of each different state, we can calculate GST. Okay, so place of supply will be each state for different values. If the value is 1, if only one invoice is there, we have to apportion it proportionately. Based on a particular reasonable basis. Let's say if the classes in Delhi has been conducted, Mumbai has been conducted, and Hyderabad has been conducted. In Hyderabad, 3 days classes are there. Okay, in Mumbai 4 days are there. In Delhi it is 5 days. So based on 3:4:5, the value has to be apportioned. So based on the number of days. So there shall be some reasonable basis. So likewise, if you are staying in a hotel, So it is a package. So you are staying in Goa, you are staying in some other place, you are staying in some other place, like 3 or 4 different places you are staying with the same hotel. So in how many days you are staying in a particular hotel in a particular city. So based on the number of days of stay, you have to apportion the value. So there is a consolidated single invoice raised by the hotel to you. In such cases, it has to be segregated. It has to be segregated based on the value. It has to be apportioned based on the value. Because whenever you are using a single invoice, that will become IGST. If IGST means to the same state, like IGST they are collecting means, what will happen? Obviously, to a wrong state it will be given. So whenever it is exactly split between different states, when the consumption in each such state has been arrived correctly, in such cases the apportionment of the GST will be correct. Like the revenue which shall be accrued to such state will be accrued. Okay, right. Next, place of supply of restaurant and catering services, personal grooming, fitness, body treatment, health service, including cosmetic, plastic surgery, shall be location where the places are where the services are actually performed. So it may be fitness, it may be beauty treatment, it may be restaurant, it may be catering. So where the services are being performed actually, that will be the place of supply. Where the services are actually performed, that will be the place of supply. Next, place of supply of services in relation to training and performance appraisal services. In relation to training and performance appraisal services. So a registered person, if it is made to a registered person, shall be the location of such person. A person other than a registered person shall be the location where the services are actually performed. Let's say a software service is there. A software service or software training is there. See, it has taken software service has been taken by a particular student. Student is learning a software course. So in such cases, this is a performance appraisal service. Performance appraisal service. So he is an unregistered person. He is an unregistered person. Okay. So if it is provided to a company to its employees, a software training is being conducted. Okay. So that means it is being provided to a registered person. See, if it is provided to a registered person, it will be the location of such registered person. Location per place of supply will be the location of the registered person. So if it is provided to an unregistered person, place of supply will be the other than registered person shall be the location where the services are actually performed. Okay, place of supply will be the location of the service. Location of the service. Okay, right. Next, you see here, the place of supply of services provided by way of admission to cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment, event or amusement parks or any other place. That means like it may be a circus, or it may be a cricket stadium, or it may be a park, or it may be a water world, whatever it may be. There is an event happening there. There is a place. Okay. So for that place you have to take a ticket. For that place you have to take a ticket. So that means they are supplying. They are supplying a service. Okay. So or any other place, and services ancillary thereto shall be the place where the event is actually held. Where the actual event is going on, that will be the place of supply. Place of supply is equals to where the event is happening. So that will be the place of supply. The place of supply of services provided by way of organization of a cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment event. Like, so the same thing is being repeated here. No, it is the case of event organization. Organizer. Okay, it is a case of event organizer. So here they are talking about the event. Okay, here they are talking about the event. Here they are talking about the service of the event organizer. So organization of a cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational or entertainment event, including supply of services in relation to conference, fair, exhibition, celebration or similar events. Let's say a award function is there. So award function. So let's cinema award function, like SIMA will be there, IFA will be there, like this. Award function is there. So there is an event organizer which is who is organizing such a award function. So this event organizer who is organizing such event. So who is the service recipient here? That has to be seen. So if the service recipient is a registered person, If the service recipient is a registered person, then place of supply will be the location of such registered person. If such a event organizer is not a registered person, then place of supply will be the place of supply will be the is not a registered person, then place of supply will be the place where the event is actually held. See here, services ancillary to organization of any events or services referred to in clause A or assigning of sponsorship to such events to a registered person shall be the location of such person. To a person other than a registered person shall be the place where the event is actually held. And if the event is held outside India, the place of supply shall be the location of the recipient. Okay, you got this? Again, the same point will be repeated here. So if the event is held in different states, in such cases the value has to be apportioned between different states. If there is a proper agreement with regard to value, so for this state this much amount, for this state this much amount karke there is an agreement, then there is no point in like splitting, pointing appropriating. So if there is a consolidated amount, in such cases we have to apportion, okay, based on a reasonable basis. Okay, so this is what the explanation here is. Next, so we have some more. Next, the place of supply of services by way of transportation of goods, including by mail or courier. So whenever it is a case of transportation of goods by mail or courier, okay, in such cases, if it is provided to a registered person, location of such person, location of the registered person. If it is provided to a person other than a registered person, in such cases it shall be the location at which the goods are handed over to the courier agency. Where the goods are being handed over. See, if it is provided to a courier service is there, provided to registered person, then location of such registered person. If it is provided to unregistered person, in such cases two things. Okay, if it is provided to unregistered person, then in such cases where you are handing over, where the goods are handed over, that will be the place of supply. Okay, next, place of supply of passenger transportation service. If it is a passenger transportation service provided to a registered person, location of such registered person. If it is provided to other than registered person, then it shall be the place where the passenger embarks. That means where he is onboarding the vehicle on the conveyance, embarks on the conveyance, that means a vehicle for a continuous journey. So provided where right to passage is given for future use, that means he is having a pass. Right to passage means he purchased a pass, so it can be used at a later point of time. Okay, so for future use, and the point of embarkation is not known at the time of issue of the pass. So it will be from one point to another, from any point to another point it can be traveled. It is not known at the time of issue. Right to passage. So the place of supply of service shall be determined in accordance with the provisions of subsection 2. What is the provision of subsection 2? If it is provided to a registered person, place of registered person. If it is provided to unregistered person, then if it is there in the records, if the address of the unregistered person is there in the records, then the location of the recipient. If the address is not there, then the location of the service provider. Okay, that is what section 12 subsection 2. So for the purpose of this subsection, the return journey shall be treated as a separate journey, even if the right to passage for onward and return journey is issued at the same time. So return journey is a separate journey. Then so while coming back from a trip, so in such cases where he is onboarding, while returning from where he is onboarding, that will be the place of supply. So the point of embarkation is the matter here. So from where he is onboarding the conveyance, onboarding the vehicle, that will be the place of supply. Next, place of supply of services on board a conveyance, including a vessel, aircraft, train or a motor vehicle. So here we are talking about, see in the last point we are talking about what is that, transportation of passengers. Okay, here we are talking about, so passenger is already there on the vehicle, So in the vehicle he is being provided with some service. In the vehicle he is being provided with some service. So let's say a movie subscription is there. So that movie has been provided to the person who is traveling through air. Okay, he is in the aircraft. So he is in the aircraft. So he has been provided with a movie subscription. A new movie has been played in his what we call in an executive what we call executive chairs. Okay, so that is what a service or a refreshment provided by the aircraft on board the conveyance. Onboarding a conveyance. So in such cases, onboard a conveyance, including the vessel, aircraft, train, or a motor vehicle, shall be the location of the first scheduled point of departure. First scheduled point of the wherever it may stop. Wherever it may stop. Where it has started. Where the vehicle started, that will be the place of supply. Wherever it may stop. There may be several stops to a particular aircraft or a particular train or a particular bus, whatever it may be, whatever particular vehicle. But wherever it started the journey, the first point of embarkation, so will be the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for that journey will be the place of supply. First scheduled point of departure. Next, place of supply of telecommunication services, including data transfer, broadcasting, cable, and direct to home television services to any person shall. Okay, the place of supply of telecommunication services. So that means it may be cable TV services, or it may be telephone services, or it may be mobile services, or it may be internet services. So whatever it may be, all comes under telecommunication services. In such services, in case of the service by way of fixed telecommunication means it may be a landline phone, or it may be a cable TV. So likewise, fixed telecommunication is there, or a line or a leased circuit, internet leased circuit, cable or dish antenna, be the location where the telecommunication line or leased circuit or the cable connection or dish antenna is installed for receipt of services. That means this landline is installed in our home. Okay, so that will be the place of service. Place of supply. So where it has been installed, where the fixed telecommunication lines are installed, fixed circuits are installed, that will be the place of supply. Okay, so in case of mobile connections, so there will be prepaid, postpaid. So if you are using postpaid mobiles, obviously there will be a billing address of the recipient. That means we will be using the services. Later on you will be receiving the bill. That means there will be a separate billing address. So if the billing address is there, means that will be the place of supply. Okay, so if it is a prepaid mobile, so where it has recharged. Prepaid mobile means, so previously it used to be some recharge cards will be used to be there. So you used to go to the shop and getting the recharge cards. So if this recharge card, if you are recharging the phone using the recharge card, means where the recharge card has been sold, that will be the place of supply. So whenever it is a case of recharge through electronic mode, that means we are recharging online. In such cases, the place, the recipient address will be there with the supplier. So if the recipient address is there with the supplier, then place of supply will be the place of the recipient. Okay, if the recipient address is not available, then the location of the service provider will be the place of supply. See here, so in other cases, be the address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier of service, and where such address is not available, place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of service. Provided that where address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier of service is not available, place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of the service. Provided further that if prepaid service is availed or recharge is made through internet banking or other electronic mode of payment, that means recharge online, the location of the recipient of service on the record of the supplier of the service shall be the place of supply of such services. Okay, next, see, this is the same point. Same point means it is supplied in different states. If it is supplied in different states, so value of the services separately collected or determined in terms of the contract. If the value for the service is separately collected, then no problem. If the value of the service is consolidated amount, then we have to apportion it based on a separate criteria. Okay, next, in case of banking and other financial services, so whenever a banker is giving services to a customer, including stock broking services to any person, shall be the location of the recipient. shall be the location of the recipient if the address of the recipient is there in the records of the banker. Okay, address of the recipient of the service on the records of the supplier of service. Provided that if the location of the recipient of service is not not in the records of the supplier, then the place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of the service. Okay, location of the supplier of the service. Simply speaking, in many places section 12 subsection 2 is coming into picture. What is there in that? If it is provided to a registered person, okay, place of supply will be the location of such person. If it is provided to unregistered person, then address is there with the location, address is there with the supplier. If it is there with the supplier, then the location of the recipient. If the address of the recipient is not there with the supplier, then the location of the service provider will be the place of supply. Okay, so this is a general rule. But that too with respect to some services we have some separate rules. So after eliminating such rule, this rule will coming into picture. Okay, so many of the cases this is coming. Right, next we have section 13, supply of place of place of supply of insurance services. So insurance services will be to a register, if it is supplied to a registered person, then location of such person. To a person other than a registered person, be the location of the recipient of the services on the records of the supplier of service. On the records of the supplier of service. Okay, so if it is provided to a registered person, location of the registered person. If it is provided to unregistered person, location of the recipient of service is in the records of the supplier of service. Okay, right, next lastly we have advertisement service, which will be provided to central government, to state government, to statutory body or local authority. Okay, so to whomsoever we are providing, like it may be central government or it may be state government, it may be local authority, or it may be union territories, or it may be any other persons. Okay, advertisement services are being provided. Advertisement services are being provided. So it may be through any media, or it may be print media, like newspaper advertisement is there, or it may be or it may be TV advertisement is there, or it may be hoarding, or it may be through train, or it may be whatever it may be. So however it may be, so advertisement is being made. Advertisement is being made, that services are being supplied to a government. Services are being supplied to the government. Okay, so in such cases see, in the place of supply of advertisement services to central government, state government, statutory body, local authority, meant for states, union territories identified in a contract or agreement, shall be taken as being in each of such states or union territories, and the value of such supplies specific to each state or union territory shall be in proportion to the amount attributable to the services provided by way of dissemination in respect of the states or union territories, or as the case may be, in terms of the contract or agreement entered into in this regard, or in absence of such contract or agreement, on such other basis as may be prescribed. What they are telling, like if the advertisement services are being provided to a central government or state government, that too in multiple states or in multiple places, on a reasonable basis, if there is an agreement entered into, like while giving the service only, if they are having an agreement, for this state this much will be the charge, for this state this much will be the charge karke, if there is a clear cut differentiation for the value of each state, okay, there is not a problem. If that is not there, on a reasonable basis it has to be apportioned. So what will be the reasonable basis? Let's say an SMS has been sent to all the mobile numbers. SMS service, SMS has been sent to all the mobile numbers. So on behalf of the central government, advertisement service has been provided. So through what? Through particular telecommunication subscriber, like through phone, over phone, like through SMS. So how the value will be apportioned? So the value will be apportioned based on number of subscribers or number of users in a particular area. Okay, so let's say if the services are provided with respect to a particular an advertisement on a train is made. So that advertisement will, the train is roaming over all the states, like it is touching 7 or 8 states. So that shall be apportioned. A consolidated value is there. Okay, so that shall be apportioned between the different states. How it shall be apportioned? So what is the length of the track in each state? That will be a reasonable basis. Okay, so if through an internet an advertisement service is being provided to the government, in such cases how many internet subscribers are there in a particular state? That will be the reasonable basis. Okay, likewise, a reasonable basis shall be there to apportion the value of the service between different states. Okay, if it is already agreed, the basis is already agreed, that is not a problem. If the basis is not agreed, then we have to have a reasonable basis. So this is all about section 12, where we are talking from section 12 subsection 3 to 12 subsection 14. 12, 14. So there are many various special cases where the place of supply has been fixed. Okay, we will assemble after a small break. See here, we are looking at this section 12 of IGST Act. Now we have already seen section 10 of IGST Act, where we are discussing place of supply of goods. Place of supply of section 10 describes place of supply of goods, that too under domestic transactions. Okay, so there are 5 instances, 6, 5, right? Section 10, 5 subsections are there, correct? 10 subsection 1, clause A, B, C, C, A, D, E. So that means 6 clauses are there. So in that, the first clause is supply involves movement of goods. When the supply involves movement of goods, then place of supply will be the place where the movement terminates. Okay, na? Supply involves movement of goods means the place where the movement of the goods terminates. Next step, where the goods are delivered by the supplier to a recipient or any other person on the directions of the third person. In such cases, place of supply will be the location of the third person. Location of the third person. So whether it may be one supply or whether it may be 2 different supplies. 2 different supplies means the recipient, who is the ultimate recipient, is there. No, he is placing order to the third person. During the transit, he is placing the order to the third person. So in such cases, 2 supplies are there. Even though 2 supplies are there, only one delivery. Okay, one delivery of the goods. In such cases, so the place of supply will be the location of the third person. Location of the third person. Next, where the supply does not involve movement, in such cases, what is the place of supply? Place of supply will be the place of goods. Place of such goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. Next, in case section 10 subsection 1 clause CA, where the registered person is supplying goods to unregistered person, when the unregistered person's address has been recorded by the registered person, in such cases place of supply will be the location of the recipient, location of such unregistered person. If the address of the unregistered person is not recorded by the supplier, in such cases it is the location of the supplier itself. Place of supply will be the location of the supplier itself. Okay, but recording just the state is enough. Okay, for recording the address, recording at least the state. Next, where the goods are assembled or installed at a site, then the place of supply will be the place of such goods or place of such installation or assembly. Where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, when the goods are supplied on a vehicle, on a conveyance means vehicle. Okay, when the goods are supplied on a vehicle, in such cases, or a vessel or a aircraft, in such cases, place of supply will be the place where the goods are taken on board the conveyance. Taken on means goods are loaded onto the conveyance. Okay, next, this is with respect to section 10, supply of place of supply of goods, that too in domestic transactions. As per section 10 we have determined. So what are the parameters we have used? Supply involves movements. So what are the rules provided to place of supply of goods? Supply involves movement of goods, does not involve movement to build to shift to model, goods assembled or installed at sites, goods supplied on board a conveyance. So these are the cases which we have seen, right? See, next we have taken up this section 12. So which is section 12, where we are talking place of supply of services, where location of the supplier and location of the recipient both are in India. Location of the supplier and recipient both are in India. That means domestic transaction only. See, the exports and imports we are not talking about. So there may be cases where like immovable property is outside India, but supplier and recipient are India means we will determine place of supply as per section 12 only. That will be within the scope of section 12 only. In this section 12, subsection 1 is telling that place of supply will be determined as per section 12. Place of supply will be determined as per section 12, where the location of the supplier and recipient are there in India. As per section 12, place of supply will be determined. That will be there in section 12 subsection 1. Okay, what subsection 12 subsection 1 is saying? Place of supply will be determined, okay, as per section 12, when the location of the supplier and recipient are there in India. Okay, so this is what is 12.1. 12.2 is telling that this is a general rule. This is a general rule. Whenever section 12 subsection 3 to section 12 subsection 4, there are a specified list of or specified services. So in those cases, separate provision is made already as per section 12 subsection 3 to 13.4. If it is covering there, 12 subsection 14, if it is covering there, okay, it will not comes under 12.2. If it is not covering, if any service is not covering there, that means a CA service is there or a CS service is there, professional service, advocate service, those are not covered here. Not covered here, no. 12.3 to 12.14. In such cases, 12.2 will be applicable. What 12.2 is telling? Whenever a registered person is supplying to a registered person, when a supply of service is made to a registered person, in such cases, location of such registered person will be the place of supply. If it is provided to unregistered person, okay, supply of service is made to unregistered person, in such cases location of the recipient where the address on the records exists. That means if the location of the recipient is recorded, that means address of the recipient is recorded, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Address of the recipient is not recorded by the registered person or the supplier, in such cases location of the supplier will be the place of supply. So this is the general rule. If 12.3 to 12.14 is not applicable with respect to any service, so in such cases 12.2 will be applicable. In such cases 12.2 will be applicable. Next, the place of supply of services which is related to immovable property. So service may be anything. It may be interior decoration, it may be architect service, it may be engineer service, it may be surveyor service, or it may be grant of rights to use immovable property, or whatever it may be. With respect to immovable property, location of the immovable property will be the place of supply. Okay, so it may be by way of giving lodging accommodation in a hotel, in guest house, or accommodation in any immovable property, which may be organizing any marriage, reception, or like, or official meeting or exhibition or cultural, religious, business function, whatever it may be. So if it is related to immovable property, then the location of the immovable property will be place of supply. See, if the immovable property and the services are supplied in different state, in such cases, so if the value for the service is separately collected, so value is separately collected as per the agreement only, as before the supply of the service only, it has been termed like that. In such cases, not an issue. If it is not termed like that, if the value is not collected separately, in such cases you have to separate it based on a reasonable basis. Okay, see, with respect to restaurant catering services, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, okay, with healthcare services, location of the service provider, so location of the services, location where the services are actually performed will be the place of supply. See, if say a gym is there, so in that a personal training is being conducted, so what will be the place of supply? Means the place where the services are actually performed. So if a gym trainer is coming to your home, services are actually performed at your premises only. Okay, so in that cases, personal grooming services or fitness services are provided at a place where, okay, so the place of supply will be the where the actual services are being actually performed. Next, place of supply of services in relation to training and performance appraisal services. In case if it is provided to a registered person, like software services are being provided to a company employees, in such cases it is provided to a registered person. In such cases, the place of supply will be the place of registered person. If it is provided to unregistered person, like a student is joining a software course, this is also a performance appraisal service, but it is provided to an unregistered person. In such cases, it is the location where the services are actually performed. Okay, next we have seen this what we call this place of supply of service in case of admission to cultural artistic events. That means it may be a cricket in a cricket stadium, or it may be a circus, or it may be an exhibition, or it may be a amusement park, or it may be a water world, whatever it may be. So with respect to an event, a ticket is being charged. In such cases, wherever the event is being organized, that is a place of supply. In cases where an event organizer provided supply of services by way of organization of a cultural event, organization of an artistic event, organization of a sporting event, organization of a conference, organization of exhibition, celebration, whatever it may be. In such cases, if it is provided to if it is a registered person, let's say an audio launch event is being conducted by an event organizer, it is provided to a producer. If it is provided to a producer or a producer company, in such cases, what is a production company? In such cases, it is being supplied to a registered person. In such cases, place of supply will be the location of that registered person. If it is provided to a, let's say, a hero is there, he is an individual, so event is being conducted by such a hero. Like event will be conducted by event organizer, but actually the service recipient is the hero. Service recipient is the hero of the film. Okay, not the producer company, or the production company is taking care. So he is it is the hero who is taking care of the function. So in such cases, service is being provided to an unregistered person. Service is being provided to an unregistered person. In such cases, place of supply will be the place where the event is actually held. If it is a registered person, place of such registered person. So if it is provided to an unregistered person, place where the event is actually held. Next case is place of supply of services in case of transportation of goods. In case of transportation of goods, if it is provided to registered person, location of such person. Provided to unregistered person, where the goods are handed over. Where the goods are handed over for delivery. Okay, for courier. Okay, that will be the place of supply. Next, in case of passenger transportation services provided to registered person, location of the registered person. Provided to unregistered person, then place where the passenger embarks on the conveyance for continuous journey. Where the passenger is embarking onto the conveyance, that will be the place of supply. Okay, so where the right to passage is given for future use and the point of embarkation is not known, it will be determined as per subsection 2. Okay, next, place of supply of services on board a conveyance. Whenever it is on board a conveyance, that means in the train or in the like aircraft, services are being provided, means then the first scheduled point of departure, that means from where the conveyance is moving, conveyance started moving, so that will be the place of supply of service. In case of telecommunication services, if it is a wired service where it is installed, okay, it may be a dish, it may be an antenna, or it may be telephone connection, landline connection. In such cases, it will be the place where it is installed. If it is a case of postpaid service, in such cases, records address will be mentioned, that will be the place of supply. So in case of mobile connection or internet service and direct to home television services are provided on prepayment basis through a voucher, where the vouchers are being supplied, that will be the place of supply. So in case of any person to a final subscriber be the location where the prepayment is received or such vouchers are sold, where the vouchers are sold, vouchers are supplied, that will be the place of supply. So in case if it is an online, like what we call online recharge through internet banking and all, like PhonePe, we will recharge through PhonePe. So in such cases, the location of the recipient of the services will be in the records of the supplier, in the telecom supplier, service supplier. So if it is there, that will be the place of supply. Okay, so next we have seen banking and other financial services. So in case of banking and other financial services, if it is in the records of the bank that the address of the supplier is there, address of the recipient is there. Sometimes it is not necessary all the time that address of the customer might be there. See, we are the customer of SBI, but we are withdrawing cash from other ATMs, like not SBI ATMs. We are using Canara Bank, we are using HDFC, we are using Axis Bank. Sometimes whenever you are crossing the limit, bank will charge you whenever you are crossing the limit. Which bank is giving you the service? Other bankers are giving you the service. With other bankers, your details will not be there, your billing address will not be there. With your banker, your details will be there. So that bank has to raise invoice on you. How it will be? So in such cases, place of supply will be supplier's place. Okay, right. Next, in case of in case of place of supply of insurance services. So insurance services provided to a registered person, then it will be, if it is provided to a company has taken machinery insurance or stock insurance, then it will be location of the recipient, that is the company. So if it is provided to unregistered persons, other than registered persons, obviously if we are the customer of an insurance company, they will obviously take our details, not just the KYC details, other even our what we call health certificates also will be taken, like certificate on our health condition also will be taken by the insurance company. Okay, so that will be maintained by the insurance company, and hence the location of the recipient only, obviously. Next, advertisement services given by government, given to government, advertisement services given to government. So there are many government schemes. See, let's say Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is there. Okay, that has to be known to all the public, and obviously next what we call Awas Yojana will be there. Okay, Awas Yojana will be there. So likewise, there are many schemes of the government which shall be known to the public, or sometimes government is going for some tenders. Government wants some. There will be some classifieds. There will be some auctions. Okay, so whatever it may be, government has to communicate it to public. Obviously, there might be newspaper uses. There might be like advertisement services through a newspaper, advertisement services through a SMS, advertisement services through internet. So government has to receive such advertisement services. So in such cases, when the government is receiving such advertisement services on a reasonable basis, it has to be taken care. Okay, see, if the value of the service is not separated, we have to separate it on a reasonable basis, on state to state. So this is what the place of supply sections are with respect to domestic transactions in case of goods and in case of services. We will see some examples wherever it is there. See here, default presumption for place of supply in respect of registered recipient B2B supply of service is the location of such person. Default location of such person. B2B means location of such person. If it is B2C, unregistered person, means then customer's address is there, means location of recipient. If it is not there, means location of the service provider, right? Okay, Mr. Aryabhat, a chartered accountant registered in Delhi, makes supply of services to his client Champak Private Limited of Noida, Uttar Pradesh, registered in UP. See, it is covered under section 12(3) to 12(14). 12(3) to 12(14). It is covered. See, from 12(3) to 14, we talked about immovable property service. We talked about personal grooming. We talked about restaurant and catering. We talked about telecommunications. We talked about advertisement to government. We talked about advertisement to government. We talked about insurance. We have taken up this banking service. We have taken this telecommunication service. We have taken this onboarding a services, onboard a conveyance. We have taken this passenger transportation, goods transportation. We have taken up this what we call event organization service. We have taken up this admission to an event or cultural event. Okay, admission to sporting event or cultural event. Next, we have taken up this restaurant and catering. We have taken this training and performance appraisal, and we have seen this immovable property related services. Okay, so these are the services separately we have seen. Have you seen CA service separately? That then which service, which section will be applicable then? Section 12 subsection 2 will be applicable. 2 will be applicable where they are talking about place of supply, means if it is provided to a registered person, then location of such person. If it is provided to unregistered person, means address has to be seen. Address is not there, means location of the service provider. So if it is, see, we are giving an audit service to a particular company. You are giving to a company, means company will be registered. Company will be generally registered. It is not necessary. If it is a company, means it is not necessary that they have to take GST registration. Once they are crossing threshold limit, then only they have to get themselves registered. Let's say if the company is a registered person, in such cases, obviously, who has to, like, place of supply will be that. Place of supply will be the address of the company. Right. Next, Aryabhatta, a chartered accountant registered in Delhi, makes a supply of service to his client Champak Private Limited, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, registered in UP. In this case, since the supply is made to a registered person, place of supply is the location of the registered person, that is Noida. Okay, right. That means IGST will come. Correct? IGST will come. Next, Hiralal Chartered Accountant in Gurgaon, Haryana, registered in Haryana, provides consultancy services to his client Pannalal, who is a resident of New Delhi but is not registered under GST. Okay, so if the address of the Pannalal is available in records of Hiralal, location of Mr. Pannalal, that is New Delhi, will be place of supply, else the location of Hiralal, which is Gurgaon, will be the place of supply. Okay, see, that means if you are giving services to a registered person, means address. If you are not giving services to registered person, that is unregistered person, individual, you are just filing income tax return, that's all, to a salaried employee. If you are doing audit service, obviously you will maintain something, and that way person auditee will also be registered. So if you are just filing income tax return, you will not maintain any data. So in such cases, you are providing such services to unregistered person, then place of supply will be your location only. Next, okay, so other examples we will see here with respect to immovable property, what they are telling. Tsunami Builders Mumbai is constructing a factory building for Skylab Private Limited. Okay, Tsunami Builders is providing immovable property services, which is construction services, to Skylab Private Limited. Then what will be the place of supply with respect to immovable property? With respect to immovable property, what will be the place of supply? Location of such immovable property. So where the property is located? In Delhi. See, Tsunami Builders is constructing factory building for Skylab Private Limited, Kolkata, in New Delhi. Okay, location of immovable road. The place of supply will be New Delhi because the property is located in Delhi. Immovable, with respect to immovable property, location of immovable property is the place of supply. Next, Shah and Shah, an architectural firm at Kolkata, has been hired by Maurya Builders of Mumbai to draw up a plan for high-rise building to be constructed by them in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. So this is also with respect to immovable property. Architect service with respect to immovable property. So the location where the immovable property is intended to be located, because it is not constructed, it is not there, it is going to be constructed. Okay, so that's why intended to be located in Ahmedabad. That's why place of supply will be Ahmedabad. Kautilya Chartered Accountant, New Delhi, travels to Mumbai for business and stays in hotel. Okay, hotel service means immovable property service only. Station hotel there. So place of supply will be place of immovable property. Okay, so hotel is located in Mumbai. Okay, so that's why place of supply Mumbai. Goluram, a consulting engineer based in Mumbai, Maharashtra, renders professional services in respect of immovable property of Goluram of Bangalore, located in Australia. Okay, see, the immovable property is located outside India. Then in such case, since the immovable property is located outside India, place of supply of service is the location of the recipient. Okay, and the place where the immovable property is located, not the place where the immovable property is located. Right, next examples we will see. Lodging accommodation by hotels, inns, guest house, ancillary services excluding property located in two or more contiguous states or union territories or Yeah. Okay. Lodging accommodation by houseboat, vessel and its ancillary services. Lodging accommodation by houseboat or vessel or its ancillary. This is also same like immovable property only. Okay. Next, see here we have a clarification on advertisement services here. We have a clarification on advertisement services here. Advertisement services are often involved in procuring space on hoardings. Procuring space on hoardings. Generally, hoardings will be there. On that, advertisement will be made. So you might be seeing this at metro pillars and all. You will be having this lead space. Okay, their advertisement will be placed. See here, advertisement companies are often involving in procuring space on hoardings or billboards erected and mounted on buildings or land in different states. That means space will be taken by the advertisement companies. Advertisement companies in turn will give services to a companies. Okay, so immovable property from the immovable property owner, from the space owners. So what they will do, they will take the space on rent for some particular or fixed. Right. So advertisement companies are there. For advertisement companies, vendors will be there. Who are the vendors? These are actually the owners, space owners. Advertisement company will create an advertisement and sell it to the companies. Okay. So whatever, brands or companies, whatever. Okay. So providing advertisement services to corporate clients. There may be variety of arrangements between the advertisement company and its vendors as below. So issue is, there may be a case wherein there is a supply, that is sale of space or supply or sale of rights to use the space on the hoarding or structure or immovable property belonging to the vendor to the client or advertisement company for a display of their advertisement on the said hoarding or structure. So that means there is an agreement between the vendor and the advertisement company. Okay, so what will be the place of supply of services provided by the vendor to the advertisement company in such case? So this is an immovable property. This is an immovable property. So services with respect to immovable property are being given by the vendor to the advertisement company. Okay, so with respect to immovable property, services are being provided place where the immovable property is located. Okay, place where the immovable property is located. So the clarification is, hoarding or structure erected on the land should be considered as immovable structure or fixture as it has been embedded in the earth. Further, place of supply of any service provided by way of supply of space on an immovable property or grant of rights to use an immovable property shall be governed by the provisions of section 12(3)(a). Governed by the provisions of 12(3)(a). So then the place of supply will be the location of such immovable property. Place of supply will be the location of such immovable property. So therefore the place of supply of services provided by way of supply of sale of space on hoarding or structure for advertising or for grant of rights to use the hoarding structure for advertising in this case would be location where such hoardings or structure is located. Place where the immovable property is located will be the place of supply. Okay, see, when vendor is giving space to the advertisement company, in such cases, vendor is giving the space to the advertisement company, selling the space to the advertisement company. In such cases, what is that? What is the clarification given? Place of supply will be place where the structure or the space is located, since it is an immovable property. Okay, right. Next, there is another issue here. There may be another case where advertisement company wants to display its advertisement on hoardings or billboards at a specific location, availing the service of the vendors. Availing the service of the vendors. That means, see, there are some empty spaces. So there you will see lead space following by the number. So if you want to advertise here, you can call this number karke, you will be having a space there. So this space or this banner is there, no? So this will be made by the vendor directly. Vendor directly. So that means the vendor is directly giving the service to the advertisement company here. Okay, by providing that hoarding or a blank hoarding, by providing the blank hoarding. So that means they are advertising the advertisement company. Correct? They are vendors are advertising the advertisement company. Okay, so in such case, the responsibility of arranging the hoardings, billboards lies with the vendor, who may himself own such structure or may be taking it on rent or rights to use basis from another person. The vendor is responsible for display of the advertisement of advertisement company at the said location. Okay, see, if you find in if you go onto this road, so you will find this advertisement. See, at some hoardings advertisement will be there. In some hoardings, lead space, this number will be there. So that we say lead space, that number is there, means, see, vendor is advertising the advertisement company. Lead space is the advertisement company. Vendor is advertising the lead space. Advertising the lead space. Okay, so during this entire time of display of the advertisement, the vendor is in possession of the hoarding. Vendor is in possession of the hoarding structure at the said location on which advertisement is displayed, and the advertisement company is not occupying the space or the structure. So in this case, what will be the place of supply of such service provided by the vendor to the advertisement company? Okay, in this case, what will be the place of supply? So in this case, as the service is being provided by the vendor to the advertisement company, and there is no supply or sale of space or supply of the rights to use the space on the hoarding or structure by the vendor to the advertisement company for display of their advertisement on the said display. That means they are telling that it is a service not related to immovable property. Okay, in such cases, the said service does not amount to sale of advertising space or supply by way of grant of rights to use immovable property. So that means it is not related to immovable property. So accordingly, place of supply of the same shall not be covered under section 12 subsection 3 clause A. It is not related to immovable property. So vendor is in fact providing advertisement services by providing visibility of advertisement company advertisement for a specific period of time on the structure possession taken on rent by him at a specified location. Therefore, such services provided by vendor comes under section 12 subsection 2. Okay, so simply when the vendor is giving advertisement services to an advertisement company, in such cases place of supply will be governed as per section 12 subsection 2. It is a general rule. But whenever the advertisement company is taking hoardings, okay, from the vendor, okay, and he is displaying advertisement boards, advertisement company is displaying advertisement boards, not of this company, of his client. In such cases, he is taking service of the advertisement, vendor. Then the place of supply is related to immovable property. Place of supply will be the location of the immovable property. So otherwise, it will be governed as per section 12 subsection 2. Next, restaurant and catering and personal grooming we have already seen. Okay, here Mr. Timmy Ferreira, a makeup artist at Kolkata, goes to Jaipur. So she is from Kolkata. Okay, went to Jaipur, Rajasthan for doing makeup of Miss Simran Kapoor, a Bollywood actress based in Mumbai. Place of supply will be personal grooming, no. Place where the services are actually performed. So where it has been performed in Jaipur, then the place of supply will be Jaipur. Okay, next, Suresh, unregistered person based in Noida, signs up an excellent linguistics New Delhi for receiving training on English speaking at a New Delhi center. Okay, so this is performance appraisal service provided to unregistered person. provided to unregistered person. When the performance appraisal services are provided to unregistered person, then what will be the place of supply? Place of supply will be the place where the services are actually performed. So that is New Delhi. Okay, whenever it is provided to registered person, place of such registered person. Okay, place of supply will be location of such registered person. Next, in case of admission to events or amusement park or other places, in Virubai Virani, a resident of Ghaziabad, UP, buys a ticket for a circus organized at Gurgaon. So whenever it is a case of admission to an event, place where the event is actually held. So that way Gurgaon, Haryana will be the circus, Haryana will be the place of supply. Okay. Manasvi of New Delhi buys tickets for amusement park located in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Place where the location of the park is the place of supply. Okay. Organization of events. So next, with respect to organization of events, mega events, an event management company at Delhi organizes an award function for Shah Diamond Merchants of Ahmedabad, registered in Gujarat, in Mauritius. See, they are organizing the event in Mauritius, that is outside India. They are organizing the event. Since the recipient is a registered person, okay, they are providing services to a event management company is providing services to Shah Diamond Merchants of Ahmedabad. So Shah Diamond Merchants or Ahmedabad are registered persons, then the place of supply will be the location of the recipient. Generally, with respect to these services, event management services, place where the events are actual, generally if it is provided to a registered person, that means to a producer or to a production company, then location of the registered person. If it is provided to other than registered person, in such cases it is location of the recipient. Sorry, other than registered person, then it will be if the where the event is actually held. In this case, what had happened? If it is provided to registered person, then it is a place of registered person, right? Next, see here, event is held in more than one state. Okay, an event management company, Moonlight Events Private Limited, has to organize some promotional events in state 1 or state 2 for a recipient. Mr. Atmaram, unregistered. 3 events are to be organized in S1, state 1, and state 2. Second in C. 2 events in state 2. 3 events in state 1. They charge a consolidated amount of 10 lakhs from Mr. Atmaram. So in such cases, place of supply will be state 1, place of supply will be state 2. For how much amount state 1? 6 lakhs, because 3 events are being conducted. For 4 lakhs, state 2 will be the place of supply, because 2 events are being conducted there. Okay, next, transportation of goods including mail or courier. What is the provision there? Place where goods are, say whenever it is case of registered person, place of registered person. If it is not a registered person means then, what shall be seen? Where the goods are handed over. See here, Mr. Bindi sir, an unregistered person of New Delhi sends a courier to his brother in Amritsar, Punjab. The recipient being unregistered person, the place of supply is the location where the goods are handed over for their transportation, that is New Delhi. Okay, right. So next, transportation of passengers. See, Mr. Amar, registered person in Delhi, travels from Mumbai to Bangalore in Airjet flight. Mr. Amar has bought the tickets for journey from Airjet office registered in New Delhi. The place of supply of the location of the location of the recipient whenever it is provided to registered person. If it is provided to unregistered person, Subramaniam has come to Delhi on a vacation. He buys a prepaid Delhi Metro card from Delhi Metro, New Delhi, for hassle-free commute in National Capital Region. Recipient being unregistered person, place of supply is the address of Subramaniam, that is Chennai. Okay, unregistered person, place of supply is the address of Subramaniam. If the address of Subramaniam is not available with Delhi Metro, then place of supply will be the location of the supplier of service. That is New Delhi. Alright. Next, on board a conveyance, services supplied on board a conveyance. So, Mr. Raidan is traveling from Delhi to Mumbai in an Airjet flight. He desires to watch an English movie during the journey by making the necessary payment. Place of supply of such service of showing a movie on demand by making the payment will be the first scheduled point of departure of the conveyance for journey. That is Delhi. First scheduled point of departure. Okay. Next, telecommunication services. For telecommunication services, Samudragupta, Kolkata gets a landline phone installed at his home. So whenever it is a case of whenever installed on site or what we call physical connections or circuits or landline connections, then place where the location of the place of supply will be the place where telecommunication line is installed. Okay, right. So in Kolkata, Mr. Rajkumar Mumbai gets a DTH installed at his home in his village in Uttar Pradesh from RT Limited. The place of supply is the location where the DTH is installed in Uttar Pradesh. That is Uttar Pradesh. Next, postpaid mobile connection in Mumbai from Bluebell Limited and gives his residence address at Mumbai. So if postpaid mobile connection is provided to a person we are having address here, in such cases the place of supply will be the location of billing address of the recipient. Location of billing address of the customer here. Mr. Freddy Puducherry gets a prepaid mobile connection recharged from a grocery shop in Chennai. Then in such cases where it is recharged, where the voucher has been sold for recharge, that will be the place of supply. Okay. Next, intermediate point or place in circuit. This is with respect to telecommunication service only. See here, Turbo Limited installs a leased circuits between Chennai and Bangalore. Okay, and Mysore offices of Rio Limited. For Rio Limited, 3 circuits are there: Chennai, Bangalore, and Mysore offices. Leased circuits between Chennai, Bangalore, and Mysore. Starting point of this circuit is in Chennai. End point of the circuit is in Mysore. Okay, the circuit also connects Bangalore. Here, one point of the circuit is in Tamil Nadu and 2 points in Karnataka. Okay, Bangalore and Mysore. One is in Tamil Nadu. The place of supply of this service is in the states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, because at these 2 locations the leased circuit is there. Okay, service shall be deemed to have been provided in the ratio of 1:2 because the number is more in Karnataka. Okay, so 1:2. So in the states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka respectively. So on a reasonable basis it has to be apportioned. Right. Next, financial and stock broking or insurance, banking services. See, Rishabh from Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh visits a bank registered in New Delhi to get a demand draft. Okay, went to the bank for DD. Okay, they have to pay the cash, bank will give the DD in favor of somebody, whoever we wants. Okay, so in favor of somebody, whoever we tell. Okay, so whenever they are giving a DD or demand draft, they will charge something. Some amount will be charged. Okay, Mr. Rishabh does not have any account with the said bank, but he went for DD. Therefore, since the location of the recipient is not available in the records of the supplier, the place of supply is the location of the supplier of service, that is the location of the bank. Okay. Next, in case of insurance services, see, Mr. Shantaram, CEO of Shaurya Limited, Mumbai, a company registered in Maharashtra, buys insurance cover for their inventory stored in the company's factory located at Mumbai from Excellent Insurance, Chennai, registered in Tamil Nadu. Okay, na? So insurance services provided to a registered person, then place of supply will be location of such registered person. If it is provided to unregistered resident of Kolkata, goes to her native place, Patna, Miss Barbie, Bihar, and buys a medical insurance policy for her parents. There from Safe Insurance, Patna, registered in Bihar. Place of supply is the location of the recipient of services in the records of the supplier, that is Patna. So insured address will be there in the records of insurance company, that will be the location of place of supply. Okay, so these are all the examples with respect to the discussions made as per section 12. Okay, so whenever it is a case of advertisement services to central government or state government meant for state or union territory identified in a contract. So advertisement services given to the central government to state government, that has to be apportioned. See, manner of determining proportionate value of the service in the absence of contract or agreement. If there is a contract or agreement, in such cases what to do? If there is a contract or agreement, we no need to do anything, like value will be apportioned as per the contract or agreement. If it is not there, some reasonable basis has to be there. So example, we have seen that if newspaper advertisement are there means, or SMS is there means, so we are taking a reasonable basis now. So if newspaper is there means, how many subscribers are there to such newspaper advertisement is there means. If SMS is there means, how many subscribers are there to a particular network. If internet advertisement is there means, how many internet subscribers are there. So we have seen this train advertisement, how many kilometers are there in a particular state. Railway track is, how many kilometers railway track is there in a particular state. So likewise, on a reasonable basis, we have to apportion the value between different states. So that reasonable basis is given in this table here. Okay, setting aside that thing, we will move on to the questions part. We will solve the questions and then go on. Okay. Yeah, we are discussing place of supply provisions. We are discussing place of supply provisions. Okay. In that, mainly we have to see place of supply of goods in domestic transactions, place of supply of services in domestic transaction. Simply domestic transaction is nothing but location of the supplier and location of the recipient are both in India, that means in the taxable territory. If both are in the taxable territory, then we will decide place of supply. So as per section 10 and section 12, so with respect to goods, section 10, with respect to services, section 12 we have seen. So in section 10 we have seen 6 different cases. Okay, 6 different cases. So section 10 subsection 1, clause A, B, C, CA, D, E. Okay, so those clauses we have seen. Right, section 10 subsection 1, clause A, B, C, CA, D, E. Okay, CA, D, E. In clause 1, in clause A, what we have discussed, if the supply involves movement of goods, then the place of supply will be the location of the goods when the movement of the goods terminates. When the movement of the goods terminates, that will be the place of supply. Okay, place where the movement of the goods terminates. So movement of the goods terminates for delivery to the recipient. Next step, where the goods are delivered by supplier to the recipient. Okay, where the goods are being delivered by supplier to the recipient, but in the middle or before, during the transit or before the transit. So if any third person, on the directions of the third person, if the goods delivered to some other location, then also the place of supply will be the location of the third person who is directing to deliver. That we have seen. When the supply does not involve movement, that means there is no movement with respect to goods, then where the goods are there at the time of delivery. So where the goods are located, that will be the place of supply. Next, whenever the supply of the goods is made to a registered person, the place of supply shall be such a registered person. Whenever it is made to an unregistered person, and the address of the unregistered person has been recorded by the supplier, in such cases place of supply will be the location of such unregistered person, because location is available. Okay, if that address is not available, then the location of the service provider or location of the provider of goods. Okay, that means supplier. But with respect to address, so if you are just mentioning the state, it is enough. Next, when the goods are assembled or installed at site, the place of supply will be the place of such installation or assembly. Where the goods are supplied on board a conveyance. Conveyance means it may be vehicle, or it may be motor vehicle, it may be train, or it may be aircraft. When the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, then the place of supply will be the location where the goods are loaded onto the conveyance. Okay, that is taken on board the conveyance. Right. So next we have seen section 12, where different cases have been mentioned. So in that there is a general provision or a default provision, which is section 12 subsection 2, where we are just talking about place of supply of services. When it is provided to a registered person, then the location of such registered person will be place of supply. If it is provided to the registered person, location of the recipient, if the address of the recipient is mentioned. Okay, if the address of the recipient is not mentioned, then the location of the supplier of the service will be the place of supply. So this is a general provision. This general provision will be applicable when the specific provision is not applicable. That means if the transaction is not covered from section 12 subsection 3 to section 12 subsection 14, in such cases this will be applicable. Which will be applicable? Section 12 subsection 2 will be applicable. So section 12 subsection 3, place of supply of services with respect to immovable property. So whenever it is a case of immovable property, whether it may be any service relating to immovable property, the place of supply will be the location of the immovable property. In some cases, if the location of the immovable property is outside India, then we have to see whether the location of the recipient is registered. If the location of the recipient is available, okay, so in such cases the location of the recipient will be the place of supply. Okay, so what we call services in relation to immovable property means whether it may be any service, it may be architect service, it may be lodging service, or it may be accommodation service, or it may be surveyor service, or it may be engineer service. Whatever the service may be in relation to immovable property, location of the immovable property will be place of supply. If the location is outside India, in such cases the location of the recipient will be the place of supply. When the immovable property is located in different states, no more than one state it is located, means if the value of the service is separated, then no issue. If the value of the service is not separated, then proportionately we have to apportion. There shall be a reasonable basis for such apportionment. So generally, if it is a lodging or accommodation service, then number of days of stay in such, the number of night stays in such accommodations in different states has to be seen. Right. Next, the place of supply of service in relation to restaurant and catering services means the place of supply will be the location where the services are actually performed. In relation to the training and performance appraisal services, if it is provided to a registered person, training and performance appraisal services provided to a registered person, then the registered person means, yesterday we have seen the example of software service, software training given to the company employees, given to the company. In such cases, location of such company will be the place of supply. If it is provided to a person other than registered persons, that means software coaching given to a particular student, individual, so unregistered person, in such cases the location where the place where the services are actually performed will be the place of supply. Next case we have seen this place of supply of service in case of admission to cultural, artistic, sporting event. That means we are charging a ticket. We are charging a ticket. With the ticket we are giving access to a particular event. That means it may be a circus, it may be a sporting event, or it may be any other event like exhibition, amusement park, whatever. So whenever you are giving access to such event by taking the ticket, in such cases where the event is actually held. Okay, next, place of supply of services provided by way of organization of an event. In this case we are talking about event organizers. When event organizer is providing services to a registered person, that means to a producer or a production company, so in such case, or a music company, in such cases the location of such a registered person, if it is provided to other than registered person, then it will be the place of supply will be the place where the event is actually held, that we have seen. Okay, next, in case of transportation of goods, we have seen if it is provided to a registered person, location of the registered person. If it is provided to other than registered person, then in such cases the place where the goods are handed over for further transportation. Next, we have seen transportation of passenger transportation services, transportation of passengers. If it is provided to registered person, location of such registered person. If it is provided to other than registered person, in such cases where the passenger embarks on the conveyance for a continuous journey will be the place of supply. Where the passenger is onboarding the conveyance, onboarding the train, onboarding the vessel, or onboarding the what we call aircraft. Okay, so that will be the place of supply. Next, place of supply in case of services provided on board. That means in the train or in the aircraft or in the vehicle, the services are being provided. So in such cases, the first scheduled point of departure of the conveyance, that means from where the train got started, from where the bus got started, or from where the aircraft got started, that will be the place of supply. Okay, right. In case of telecommunication services, and that to a fixed line or a fixed circuit or a physical line or a leased circuit, in such cases the place where the leased circuit or the telecommunication lines are established. If it is a postpaid service, mobile connection postpaid services are there, so in the address, the address of the recipient will be available with the whom will be available with the service provider. Okay, will be available with the service provider. Then location of such recipient. So where the mobile connection, and that too we are recharging through a selling agent. That means vouchers are being recharge coupons or recharge vouchers are being purchased. In such cases, from where the recharge vouchers are being purchased, that means where the selling agent is located, that will be the place of supply. So if recharge is made online, so that means internet, through internet banking or through any other app like Phone Pay or Google Pay, whatever. So if you are recharging through that, in such cases the location of the recipient, which is in the records of the supplier of the services, will be the place of supply. And next, banking and other financial activities services, financial services, including stockbroking services. If the address of the recipient is available with the banking company, then location of such recipient. If the address is not available with the banking company, then the location of the bank will be the place of supply. Okay, next we have seen this insurance services provided to a registered person means location of such registered person. Insurance services provided to others means location of such recipient. So obviously the address of the recipient will be available with the insurance company. And in case of advertisement services provided to a central government, so in such cases the value of such supply specific to each state or union territory shall be in proportion to the amount attributable to the services provided by way of dissemination in respect of the states or union territories. So how much service you have given to a particular state, in a particular state, that shall be the value. So it shall be proportionately apportioned. So there shall be a reasonable basis for such apportionment. Okay. So so far we have covered section 12 to 12 up to section 12 subsection 14 we have covered. See here, all these services are there now. So if any service is not covered from section 12 to section 12 subsection 3 to section 12 subsection 14, then what we call section 12 subsection 2 will be applicable, which is a default provision for fixing the place of supply in case of services where the service provider and the service recipient both are in India. Okay, it is not an export service or importation of services. In case of a service provider and service recipient both are in India, that means a domestic transaction. In such cases, section 12 will be applicable. So if it is if our location of the service provider or location of service recipient are outside India, in such cases that will be an international transaction. Then section 13 will come into play. Okay, section 13 will come into play, but section 13 is not in our syllabus. Okay, so far we have covered. See, why the place of supply, fixing place of supply or determining place of supply is so important. So based on the place of supply only we will determine whether to levy CGST, SGST or IGST. Okay, so in order to determine that, in order to fix which tax to be collected, which tax to be levied, we need place of supply. So place of supply along with location of supplier has to be seen. If location of the supplier and place of supply are in same state, are in same union territory, then it will be CGST, SGST or CGST, UTGST. If location of the supplier and place of supply are in two different states, or in one state, location of supplier in one state, location of the place of supply in other state or other union territory, then it will be IGST. Where it is given like that means, so where it is given intrastate transaction, interstate transaction, or intrastate supply or interstate supply means, see, under IGST Act as per section 7, section 8, that is given as per IGST Act section 7 and section 8 it is given. We'll see that we have that section here. See here, intrastate supply, section 8 of IGST Act. Section 8 of IGST Act, intrastate supply. See what it will tell. Subject to provisions of section 10. Subject to provisions of section 10. Section 10 means, now only we have seen section 10 of IGST Act. Okay, place of supply in case of goods, that too where the service provider and service recipient both are in India. Supply of goods where the location of the supplier and place of supply of the goods are in the same state or in same union territory shall be treated as interstate supply. Shall be treated as interstate supply. So subject to the provisions of section 12, supplier of service, where the location of the supplier of the service and place of supply of services are in same state, union territory, then it is an intrastate supply for services. So subsection 1 is for goods, subsection 2 is for services. Okay. So for the purpose of this act, where a person has an establishment in a state or union territory and any other establishment outside that state or union territory. Okay, so any establishment in a state or union territory and another establishment registered within that state or union territory. That means what they are telling? They are telling about distinct person. They are telling about distinct person outside the state, distinct person within the state. Okay, then such establishments shall be treated as establishments of distinct persons. Establishments of distinct persons. Okay, person having same PAN but a distinct person. Okay, any person carrying on the business through a branch or an agency or representational office in any territory shall be treated as a having an establishment in that territory. So if you are operating through an agent, then it will be called as a separate establishment, treated as a having an establishment in that territory. Same thing will be there in section 7 also. Section 7. So section 7 talks about interstate supply. See here, section 7 talks about interstate supply. Section 7 talks about interstate supply. Okay, so here subject to provisions of section 10, supply of goods where the location of the supplier and place of supply are in two different states or two different union territories, and in a state and a union territory shall be treated as supply of goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Okay, interstate trade or commerce. So if it is an interstate supply, then IGST will be levied. So interstate supply of goods, IGST will be levied. Next, subject to provisions of section 12, supply of services where the location of the supplier and place of supply are in two different states, two different union territories. Two different states, two different union territories. State and a union territory shall be treated as supply of service in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Okay, interstate trade or commerce. So with respect to services, subsection 3. Next, supply of goods or services are both in a taxable territory, not being an intrastate supply and not covered elsewhere in this section. Okay, shall be treated as supply of goods or services or both in the course of interstate trade or commerce. Whenever you are unable to determine the transaction as an interstate transaction, then it will be obviously interstate transaction. So this is given in section 7 of IGST Act. So section 7, 8, section 7 and 8 we have seen. 7 talking about interstate supply, 8 talking about intrastate supply. So if it is interstate supply, we will levy IGST. So where it is telling like that? Section 5. Section 5 it is telling, if it is an interstate transaction, then integrated goods and services tax will be there, shall be levied a tax called integrated goods and services tax. That dialogue is there in section 5. We have seen that maximum not more than 40%. So we have seen. So section 8, if it is an intrastate transaction as per section 8, then section 9 of CGST Act will come. There shall be levied a tax called central goods and services tax. Okay, which shall not be more than 20%. Okay, but not on alcoholic liquor for human consumption karke. Section 9 subsection 1 is there. So same IGST levy under section 5 subsection 1 it is there. Okay, so section 7 is attracting means IGST, section 8 is attracting means intrastate, CGST, SGST or CGST, UTGST will come. Okay, right. Next, section 9 we have to discuss here. Section 9 of IGST Act. We have seen section 7 of IGST Act, we have seen section 5 of IGST Act, we have seen section 8 of IGST Act. Now we are seeing section 9 of IGST Act, where it is talking about supplies in territorial waters. First of all, what is territorial water? Okay, so let's say this is India. Okay, from the coastal point into the deep sea, into the sea, 12 nautical miles. Okay, now, so here from here, this point to this, 12 nautical miles into the sea. So this will be called as territorial waters. Okay, territorial waters. If the transaction is taking place in territorial waters, if a transaction is taking place in territorial waters, in such cases, so section 9 of IGST Act will be applicable. See, notwithstanding anything contained in this act, section 9 supplies in territorial waters, notwithstanding anything contained in the in this act, where the location of the supplier is in territorial waters, the location of such supplier or location of such supplier or where the place of supply is in territorial waters, the place of supply shall for the purpose of this act, see, supplier is there, location of the supplier is in territorial waters. Let's say a cruise ship is there, cruise ship is there, cruise ship is cruise ship is starting from Chennai to Mumbai, okay now, cruise ship is there. So in the cruise ship there are many services being provided. In the cruise ship, there are many services being provided. So there may be a restaurant inside it, there may be a club inside it, there may be a casino inside it. Okay, so likewise there are various services in the cruise ship which is traveling from Chennai to Mumbai. So that means the service provider is there in the service provider is there in the territory of India. He is in the territory of India, but not in the land. Not on the land of India. He is there in the water, territorial water of India. So location of the service provider is in the territorial water of India. He is providing services on board the conveyance, okay, in the cruise ship. So in such cases, if you want to fix the place of supply, whether it may be location of the supplier in the cruise ship or whether it may be place of supply in the cruise ship. So place of supply is coming in the cruise ship or location of the supplier is in the cruise ship. In such cases, so the nearest coastal point where the cruise ship is there, from such location to the nearest coastal point, which state is coming, that state has to be sheet. Okay, so deemed to be in the coastal state or the union territory where the nearest point of appropriate baseline is located. Okay, so when the place of supply or location of the supplier is coming in the territorial waters, then the nearest coastal point state will be the place of supply or location of the supplier. Okay, for determining that, section 9 is there. So sometimes place of supply may be territorial water, coming in territorial waters. Sometimes see place where the immovable property is located. We are telling that as per section 12 subsection 3, we are telling that place where the immovable property is located. Place of supply will be the place where immovable property is located. That means immovable property is located in territorial waters. That means place of supply is coming in territorial waters. Place of supply is coming in territorial waters. In such cases, the nearest point, nearest coastal state will be the place of supply. Okay, territorial waters, it is not a state. It is a boundary of India, but it is not a state. So to which state place of supply will come? So the nearest coastal point will be the state of supply. So this is section 9. So in this chapter we have discussed section 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 of IGST Act. So this is completely IGST Act. Place of supply will be completely IGST Act. We have section 11 and 13 also, but those two sections are relating to place of supply of services, place of supply of goods and place of supply of services. But when the service provider is or service recipient are outside India, that means in case of international transaction, not under domestic transaction. Okay, so this is all about the chapter place of supply. This is all about the chapter place of supply. So section 12 we have seen, section 10 we have seen, 12 we have seen, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 7, 8, 9 we have seen. Section 5 already we have seen of IGST Act. So now we will move on to questions part. Right? In case of a domestic supply, what is the place of supply where the goods are removed? In case of a domestic supply means which section? Section 10. Domestic supply means section 10. That too they are talking about goods. That's why section 10. Domestic supply, section 12 also may apply if they are talking about services. Okay, domestic supply of goods means section 10. What is the place of supply where the goods are removed? Goods are removed means goods involves movement. Goods involves movement. That means they are talking about section 10 subsection 1 clause A. 10 subsection 1 clause A. So section 10 subsection 1 clause A they are talking about. Then what will be the place of supply? Place where the movement terminates for delivery to the recipient. Okay, movement terminates for delivery to the recipient. So the place of supply of goods is the location of the goods at the time at which the movement of the goods terminates for delivery to the recipient. So this is what is the place of supply. In case of domestic supply and where the goods are removed, that means goods involves movement. Goods involves movement. What will be the place of supply if the goods are delivered by the supplier to another person on the directions of the third person? Now they are talking about which model? Which model? Yesterday we named this model. What is that? Bill to, ship to. Bill to, ship to. Why it is called bill to, ship to? Three parties are there: A, B, and C. Okay. So A is the supplier, C is the recipient. Oh, sorry. B is the recipient. C is the third person. Okay. C is the third person. But see what C is doing? C is placing order from A. Okay, third person is placing order from A. So that means, C's place will be the billing address. Who is placing the order? Billing address. Billing address. But the goods are being delivered to the recipient B in some different place. So that will be the delivery address or shipping address we can say. Delivery or shipping address we can say. So that means bill is coming to one place. Shipping is going to another place. Delivery is being made to another place. That is what is called bill to ship to model. Bill to ship to model. In such cases, what is the place of supply? Place of supply will be the billing address. Billing address. That means place of supply will be the place where the third person is there. Okay. So what will be the place of supply if the goods are delivered by the supplier to another person, by the supplier to another person on the directions of the third person. Okay, from the supplier to recipient on the directions of the third person. So what will be the place of supply? Location of such third person. Location of such third person. Okay. Right, see the answer. As per section 10 subsection 1 clause B. Section 10 subsection 1 clause B. It would be deemed that the third person has received the goods and the place of such goods will be the principal place of business of such person. Place of such goods will be the principal place of business of such person. Okay, right. That means location of the third person. Location of the third person. That will be the place of supply. Got it? Next, what is the place of supply where the goods or services are supplied on board a conveyance? Okay, what is the place of supply where the goods or services are supplied on board a conveyance such as vessel, aircraft, train or motor vehicle? So they are talking about place of supply where the goods or services are supplied on board a conveyance. That means they are talking about place of supply in case of goods and place of supply in case of in services, both. In services, both they are asking. Okay, so section 10 will come, section 12 will come. Section 10 subsection 1 which clause? On board a conveyance. Clause E. Clause E will come. So in section 12 which section will come? Subsection will come. Section 12 subsection on board a conveyance. Section 12 subsection. Which subsection? There is a special subsection, no? Section 12 subsection 10. 10. Section 10 subsection section 12 subsection 10 will come. So you tell me what is there in 8. On board a conveyance. Services supplied on board a conveyance. This thing, section 12 subsection 10, place of supply of service on board a conveyance including vessel, aircraft, train or motor vehicle. Okay. So in such cases, what is the provision? You just tell me section 10 subsection 1 clause. Which clause? Which clause? Section 10 subsection 1 clause E. With respect to goods, with respect to services, section 12 subsection 10. Okay. In 10 subsection 1 clause E, what is there? When the goods are supplied on board a conveyance, what is there? What is the place of supply? Place where the goods are loaded onto the conveyance. Goods are loaded onto the conveyance, correct? Goods are on board the conveyance. Okay, right. Next, in case of supply of services on board a conveyances, place where first scheduled point of departure. First scheduled point of departure of such conveyance is the place of supply. That is there. Okay, see here, as per section 10 subsection 1 clause E, in respect of the goods, the place of supply is the location at which such goods are taken on board the conveyance. Next, however, in respect of services, the place of supply is the location of the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for journey in terms of section 12 subsection 10. Okay, next case you see, place of supply in relation to immovable property situated in India. Place of supply in relation to immovable property situated in India is the location of the immovable property. Suppose a road is constructed from Delhi to Mumbai covering multiple states. What will be the place of supply of construction service, he is asking. Okay, so place of supply in relation to immovable property situated in India. So which section will come? Place of supply in relation to immovable property. Which section will come? First of all, services are goods are services. Which section will come? Subsection. Which section will come? Section 12 will come. Subsection 3. Subsection 3. So activities relating to immovable property. Anything with in concern with the immovable property. So whatever the service may be, section 12 subsection 3 will be applied. What is the provision there? What is the place of supply there? Place of supply will be the location. Place of supply will be the location of such immovable property. Place of supply will be the location of such immovable property. Location of such immovable property, unless and until the immovable property is located outside India. If it is located outside India, then the location of the recipient. Okay, section 12 subsection 3. Place of supply will be the location of the immovable property. Correct? Okay, fine. This is. Now, see here, the place of supply in relation to immovable property situated in India is the location of immovable property. That means they are telling it correct. They are telling this correct. First statement is correct. Statement is correct. Next, suppose a road is constructed from Delhi to Mumbai covering multiple states. Delhi to Mumbai covering multiple states. So if the multiple states are being covered, what we have to do? If the value is given separately, then no problem. As per the agreement, if the value is given separately, that means not consolidated value charged. The value is charged separate for each state. There is no problem. If it is not charged separately, in such cases we have to see the agreement. In agreement, if there is any allocation or if there is any apportionment or proportionate basis, okay, that has to be taken, or on a reasonable basis we have to apportion. On a reasonable basis we have to apportion. What we have to do? So how many kilometers is there in a particular state? How many kilometers of the road has been laid down in a particular state? That has to be taken. Okay, so place of supply is equals to location of immovable property as per section 12 subsection 3. So see here, where the immovable property is located, in more than one state, the supply of service is treated as made in each of the states in proportion to the value of the services separately collected or determined in terms of the contract or agreement entered into in this regard. or in the absence of such contract, if there is no such contract, if there is an agreement or contract, in such a proportion the value has to be apportioned. If there is no such, see, first of all, value separately collected, value separately collected. So if it is yes, no problem at all. Okay, now this is fine. So value separately collected, this is fine. If the value is not separately collected, value is not separately collected, for separation or apportionment there is an agreement, there is an agreement or contract, there is an agreement or contract. If so, as per the agreement, as per agreement we have to apportion. Okay, we have to apportion. If there is no agreement unte, okay, agreement, if agreement is there, if no agreement on a reasonable basis, on a reasonable basis, we have to apportion. You got this? So value separately charged, if the value is separately charged, no problem at all. If the value is not separately charged, in such cases what we have to do? As per the agreement we have to apportion. If there is no such agreement for apportionment, okay, now then we have to apportion on a reasonable basis. Okay, so what is the reasonable basis here? Number of kilometers on each such state. Okay, so the place of supply is not one state, the place of supply will be every state in which the road is laid. Place of supply will be every state. For each such state, value has to be assigned. So value has to be assigned. So which how much value has to be assigned? So based on a particular criteria. So criteria, if the criteria is defined in the contract, then as per such criteria we will apportion. If the criteria is not defined in such contract, then we have to apportion on a reasonable basis. Okay, see here, in the absence of a contract or agreement between the supplier and the recipient of services in this regard, the proportionate value of services supplied in the different state or union territories, proportionate value of the services supplied in different states or union territories where the immovable property is located is computed on the basis of the area of immovable property lying in each state or union territory. Area of the immovable property lying in each state or union territory. So then area of the immovable property means which will come? Area of the immovable property means number of kilometers of the road. Number of kilometers of the road it will come. So explanation to section 12 subsection 3. So which is related to immovable property. Okay. Next, what would be the place of supply of services provided by an event management company for organizing a sporting event for a sports federation which is held in multiple states? What would be the place of supply of services provided by an event management company for organizing a sporting event for a sports federation which is held in multiple states? Which clause will come? Which clause will come? Sorry, which subsection will come? Section 10 or 12? First of all, 12 will come because of service. Which subsection will come? 7 will come up, which is relating to event organization or event organizers. So event organizing company is giving, event organizer is giving services to a sports federation. They are giving services, that too not in one state, in multiple states they are giving. In multiple states they are giving. Okay, section 12 subsection 7 will be applicable. So there, what is there? What is the place of supply provision there? If it is provided to a registered person, then place of supply will be location of such a registered person. If it is provided to other than registered person, then place of supply will be place where the event is actually held. Place where event is actually held. See, it is provided to a sports federation and that too in multiple states. So what we have to do in such cases? If it is provided in different states, in such case also we have to apportion between different states. Okay, see here, in case of an event, if the recipient of the service is registered, place of supply of services for organizing the event is location of such person. Okay, however, if the recipient is not registered, place of supply is the place where event is held. Since the event is being held in multiple states and consolidated amount is charged for such service, multiple states, single amount has been charged. The place of supply will be deemed to be in each state. Every state will be place of supply. Each state will be place of supply. Okay, that too, the value has to be apportioned proportion to the value of the services determined in terms of the contract or agreement. If the contract or agreement is not there, in the absence of a contract or agreement between the supplier and the recipient of service, the proportionate value of the services made in each state, where the event is held will be computed in accordance with Rule 5 of IGST rules by the application of generally accepted accounting principles, by applying GAAP. Generally accepting accounting principles, or nothing but just like number of kilometers in a state, number of days of stay in a state. So likewise, that will be the gap. So likewise, we have to apportion. Right. Question 6. See here, what is the place of supply of services? Services means section 12. By way of transportation of goods. By way of transportation of goods means subsection transportation of goods 8 subsection 8, including by mail or courier when both supplier and recipient are located in India. Section 12 subsection 8. So in case of transportation of goods, so transportation of goods, service is transportation of goods provided to registered person. If it is provided to registered person, then location of such registered person. If it is provided to others, place where the goods are handed over. Right? Okay. See what is there. If the recipient is registered, location of such person is the place of supply. If the recipient is not registered, place of supply is the place where the goods are handed over for transportation. Right? Next question, you see. Next question, 7th. Okay. So what will be the place of supply of passenger transportation service? If a person travels from Mumbai to Delhi and back to Mumbai. If a person travels from Mumbai to Delhi and Delhi to Mumbai, passenger transportation service. So which section will apply? Section 12, subsection 9 will apply. Section 12, subsection 9 will apply. What is there in that? If it is provided to registered person, then place of supply will be the place of such registered person. If it is provided to other than registered person, then in such cases, place where he is onboarding the conveyance. Place where the passenger is onboarding the conveyance. Okay, so place where onboarding the conveyance means from Mumbai to Delhi, where he will embark. From Mumbai to Delhi, where he will embark, where he will onboard. He is going from Mumbai to Delhi, where he will onboard. In Mumbai he will onboard. What will be the place of supply? Mumbai will be place of supply. Okay, in return journey, where he will embark? Delhi will be the place of supply for return journey. So return journey shall be treated as a separate supply. Return journey shall be treated as a separate supply. Okay, so continuous journey has to be taken. Single ticket, continuous journey has to be taken. Single ticket. See, if he is traveling from Mumbai to Delhi, in between some halt stop is there, but he no need to transfer to another conveyance. Just in the same conveyance there is an halt stop, that's all. In the same conveyance, a single ticket only. So in such cases, in such total continuous journey will be there, no? So where he is embarking? Mumbai only. Okay, to Delhi. So Mumbai will be the place of supply. If the journey is breaking up at any point of time and the separate ticket is being raised, okay, separate ticket is being taken. In such cases, if separate ticket is taking means a separate journey. Okay, a separate supply. Correct? Right. See here, Mumbai to Delhi. Mumbai will be the place of embarkation. So hence Mumbai will be the place of supply. In return journey, Delhi will be the place of supply. In Delhi is onboarding the conveyance. Okay, right. See here what it is written. If the person is registered, place of supply of the passenger transportation service will be location of the recipient. If the person is not registered, place of supply for forward journey from Mumbai to Delhi will be Mumbai. That will place where he embarks. Okay, however for return journey, place of supply will be Delhi, as the return journey has to be treated a separate journey as per section 12 subsection 9. Under the explanation it is told like that. Right. Next, what is the place of supply for mobile connection? Can it be the location of the supplier for mobile connection? Okay, mobile connection, prepaid, postpaid, both are there. Postpaid means location of the recipient. Location of the recipient, postpaid. Prepaid means whether you are going for recharge through vouchers or through a selling agent. That means you are going to a pan shop and getting the scratch card, and using the scratch card you are recharging in the olden days, not now. Okay, in some states it may happen like that with some networks. Okay, so if you are doing online recharge for prepaid, okay, whatever, so in those cases what will be the place of supply? What will be the place of supply for mobile connection? For postpaid, address will be there, location of the recipient. For prepaid, vouchers may be there for recharge. So a place where the vouchers are being sold through a reseller. Okay, if it is prepaid through electronic devices or through electronic mode or internet banking, in such cases, location of the recipient recorded in the records of whom? Supplier. Okay, see here, location of the supplier of mobile service cannot be the place of supply, as the mobile companies are providing services in multiple states and many of these services are interstate. The consumption principle will be broken if the location of the supplier is taken as the place of supply. See, if in case of mobile connections, see, location of the service provider is taking means, let's say Airtel subscribers are there, Airtel subscribers who are scattered all over India. That means we are taking the services of Airtel in different parts of the country. If they are putting the place of supply as the place where the head office of the Airtel is located, or location of the service provider, then what will happen? In respect of telecommunication services, there will be no GST revenue to the consumption states. That will happen. Say Airtel is doing a 10,000 crores business they are doing. 10,000 crores business they are doing. On this 10,000 crores business, GST at the rate of 18% is applied. That means how much GST will come? 1800 crores GST will come. 1800 crores GST has to be accrued to which state? Okay, in this 900 crores will be the part of central government, correct? Remaining 900 crores will be 900 crores shall be flowing to the state in which the ultimate consumers are there. Let's say from Hyderabad, there are let's say out of 100% of Airtel users, 20% of the Airtel users are in Hyderabad. Okay, that means 20% of the 900 crores shall come to Hyderabad. That means Telangana government. If 30% of the Airtel users are there in Mumbai and Pune, okay, 30% of 900 crores shall be flowing to Maharashtra government. So likewise, based on the consumption it shall flow. So if you are fixing the place of supply as the head office, as the location of the service provider, what will happen? The entire 900 crores revenue will be flowing to whom? 900 crores revenue will be flowing to the government, in which government in which this service provider is located. So that is not fair, and this what we call consumption principle is vanishing there. So that's why it is completely wrong thing to fix the place of supply as the location of the service provider. Okay, then what we have to fix? Location of the recipient will be the ultimate correct thing here. Okay, so now in case of prepaid connections, if the service is supplied to a selling agent or reseller or a distributor of the SIM card or recharge voucher, the place of supply is the place of address of the selling agent or reseller or distributor. By any person to the final subscriber, the place of supply is the location where such prepayment is received or such vouchers are sold. Next, in other cases like online recharges, the place of supply is the address of the recipient as per the records if the supplier of the services, and where the address is not available, place of supply shall be the location of the service provider. Okay, if the address is not available, if the address of the recipient is available, that will be a place. See, if recharge is done through internet or e-payment, the location of the recipient of the services on the record of the supplier will be the place of supply. Okay, next comes a person from Mumbai got to Kulu Manali and takes some services from ICICI Bank in Manali. Okay, so it is banking and financial services from a banking company. So if the banking company is having the address of such person, if the banking company is having the address of the person, then place of supply will be the place of such recipient. If the address is not available, place of supply will be the place of the bank. Okay, location of the service provider. Next, an unregistered person from Gurgaon travels by Air India flight from Mumbai to Delhi. Unregistered person. Okay, and get his travel insurance done in Mumbai. What is the place of supply of insurance services? Here two services are there. Two services are there. Travels by Air India flight from Mumbai. That means passenger transportation service is there, insurance service is there. So in case of insurance services, if it is provided insurance services provided to registered person, place of supply will be location of the registered person. Provided to others, place of supply will be location of the recipient only. At any cost, recipient's address has to be, details has to be maintained by the insurance company. Okay, it is not the service provider in this case. So when the insurance services is provided to an unregistered person, location of the recipient services on the records of the supplier of the insurance. So that is the insurance services. So Gurgaon is the place of supply. Next, place of supply in case of banking services to any person shall be the location of the recipient of service on the records of the supplier of services. So if the location of the recipient of service is not on the records, then place of supply shall be the location of the supplier of service, which is ICICI Bank in Kulu Manali. Okay, right. So these are all the questions. So we have seen section 7, section 8, section 9, section 10, section 12. In section 7, we are talking about interstate supply. What is an interstate supply? Why we need whether it is interstate or intrastate? To levy section 9A, to levy section 5 of IGST Act. To levy section 9 of CGST Act, to levy section 5 of IGST Act. If it is section 9 of CGST Act, then CGST, SGST or CGST, UTGST will come. That will be based on whether it is interstate supply or intrastate supply. Okay, so section 7 is talking about interstate supply. When it is interstate supply, when the transaction is happening between supply of the goods or services between two different states or two different union territories, between a state and a union territory, then it will be a interstate supply. Then section 5 of IGST Act will come into play. Section 5 is coming means IGST will be levied. Correct? So whenever it is section 8 intrastate supply, that means within the same state, within the same state, then intrastate supply. Intrastate supply. Okay, section 9 is talking about supply in territorial waters. If the supply is in territorial waters, that means location of the supplier may be in territorial waters or place of supply may be territorial waters. Then in that case, what shall be done? Nearest coastal state will be the place of supply or location of supplier. Okay. Next, section 10 talking about determination of place of supply in case of goods, that too domestic supply. Okay. Next, section 12 talking about determination of place of supply in different cases. In case of services, that too service provider and service recipient both are in India. That means under domestic transactions. Okay. So section 12 subsection 2 to section 12 subsection 14. That means we have 13 subsections. Out of that, 12 are special cases. Section 12 subsection 2 is general. So when 12.3 to 12.14 is not applicable, section 12 subsection 2 is applicable, which is default rule. So what it is telling, if it is provided to a registered person. If it is provided to unregistered person, if the address is there, location of such recipient. If the address of the recipient is not there, then location of the service provider. Address means what here? Just mentioning the state is enough. Not necessarily the door number, not necessarily the village or city or anything. Like just a door number is enough. So these are all the provisions of place of supply. So with this we have completed this chapter. Okay, right.